let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer for the podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
5 seconds remaining. 4, 3, 2, 1. It is all over. The Edmonton Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
For the win. Draisaitl centers. McDavid tips it home. Game over.
Hurry up to the head of Gretzky going in. Sugar trying to get back. Gretzky with his back score.
It's the 6 o'clock and check-in. Come on, let's go.
And he scores. Leon Draisaitl.
It's the AM nasty big hello.
And there it is. Zach Hyman.
It's the Play Out Better Nielson Show. Let's go.
The Oilers pouring it on. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Smith from behind the net. A wrap around. Edmonton wins.
Everybody tune in, even my wife. And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife.
That is an absolutely pitifully bad call.
Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log in with some sirloin
McDavid,
bites.
beautiful move. What can you say?
Here they come, the Oilers. It's dropped back. Lookberger shoots. Goal! Lookberger! The Oilers win it!
The Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
It's not over yet, have faith. It's not over yet, have faith. It feels more like hell than hockey heaven, but let's remember it's a best of 7. Nobody loses the cup in just 3 games, so let's pump the brakes on assigning blame. It's not over yet, have faith. It's not over yet, have faith. So turn that frown upside down. They need a split coming back to town. You aren't yet dead, being down 2-1. In the end, the fun has just begun. It's not over yet, have faith. It's not over yet, have faith. It's not over yet, have faith. It's not over yet, have faith.
I believe in these guys. I believe in McDavid and Dry. I'm a Nuge, Bush, and Kane. Gonna make a deep run again. I believe they can soar. Gonna bring the cup back to the north. I believe in these guys. I believe in these guys. Say it with me. I believe in these guys.
Very impressive. Taking a few years to put all this together.
It's not a one-year quest because it's so hard to get your hands on. At this stage of my life, I don't invest in green bananas. It's a lifetime quest. Just not sure if I'm going to be around long enough to see them ripen to be yellow. You can't party enough when you win that thing. It's a party machine. Party machine.
Girl, I can't understand it.
That's why it's the Stanley Cup. It's hard. It's hard.
.07 on a Monday morning. What is up, Edmonton? Thank you very much for being here today. Dusty, Lieutenant Eric, and YouTube Trev coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio this morning. As always, the Nielson Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Check them out, www.southfortchev.com. Oh, we've got some things to discuss today, don't we? Oh, we've got some things to discuss today.
Jays aren't so hot anymore.
Oh, yeah, what happened to the Blue Jays?
Swept aside.
Coming home 38 and 32,
Sure.
I think is what Keegan Matheson said. By the way, Keegan Matheson has sent me 2 copies of his book, which once hockey season's over and we're allowed to talk about other things, we will have Keegan on. And we will...
Where he reads the book aloud.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And we'll give away some copies of his book as well. So there's that. JJ Spawn was terrific. George Russell. I watched some IndyCar last night and found it to be very entertaining.
Hanging out with Hernan again, I see.
Somebody should have told me about this IndyCar a few years ago. That was a fun one. CFL action. We'll get into that as we work our way through the show today. But we are going to spend most of the show talking about this damn hockey team right now. Joe over on the Nasty Chat on YouTube, where if you were watching on YouTube this morning, smash the thumbs up for your boys, all right? I see since I was last here, we've surpassed 12.7K on the subs. So thank you very much for that. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. Joe over there says... there's a couple over there. Joe, obviously a listener from down south, says, I'm a Cats fan. At least your radio stations are focused on this series. I live in Fort Lauderdale, and our flagship station is yapping about Tua and the Dolphins. He goes on to add, I love my Finns, but it's mid-June, Game 6, and the Stanley Cup Final is freaking tomorrow. But here we are worrying about whether or not Coach McDaniel is dorky, corny, etc.
Off-season? What off-season?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, I'll just quickly say, yes, he's all of those things. He is corny and he is dorky. And he's got to deliver at some point. But we'll leave Fort Lauderdale radio to discuss those things today, and we'll, for the most part, well, for a good chunk of the show, we'll be on this hockey game. How was Thursday, Friday? How's Fraze doing?
Oh, great! No, a surprise visit by you Friday. It was really the
how
sprinkling
fired up
on the
was
end
everybody
of it.
on Friday?
That's great. I mean, it's
glorious show. I'm assuming.
Hernan was planning parade routes, and it was just these are the ups and downs of the series. Right, you win one, and you're in the drive. We've talked about the driver's seat. And those different definitions of how this goes. I don't know where you would put the Oilers in the cab today.
Well, I'll do it for you.
Okay.
This is do you know what it is now?
You're having a child.
Oh, no.
You're going to be a dad again.
Oh, I'm just checking on things here. It's gut check time. It's gut check time, boys. That's where they're at. That's where they're at right now.
No?
The inbox is fired up, obviously.
Has anybody checked on Hyman's arm? Is that good to go yet?
I mean, I saw that cast.
Well
You can't get that hand in a glove.
Get him out there.
You can't get that hand in a glove.
Put it in some sort of concrete, and...
Look, it looks protected enough. He probably could play without a glove.
Look, modern
Just put little
science,
things on his fingers.
Yeah, I'm sure they could.
There's got to be some sort of custom-made cast/glove that you can throw on Hyman's right arm right now.
Kevlar, right? Isn't that the material?
Well, part of the forward discussion is significant what's going on right now. Like if we were we'll get to it as we work our way through the show, but I'll just rip this Band-Aid off. If you were drafting forwards right now, of all the forwards available to you to draft in this series, like 12 of the first 15 picks are probably Florida Panthers forwards.
I'm still taking 11 of 14.
Like, well, yeah.
And he hasn't played a shift.
They do miss Hyman. I mean, that's
absolutely.
For sure.
Kane misses Hyman.
Yeah. All right, 780-218-9999. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox, where if you need to cheer yourself up today, why not get engaged to someone, right? Just rip that Band-Aid off right now.
Hell, buy yourself some bling.
Yeah.
Like I just skip down there and start the week off with a
why not?
A chain.
Well, go buy yourself a wedding ring. Pretend you're married for a bit. Who cares? Flexible payment options is in do not pay for 1 year. It's all online at parisjewelers.com or pop by West Edmonton Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park Mall, St. Albert Center. They're everywhere. So hit us up in the PJ's inbox today. One of your text messages will win text of the day for A and W. And you'll win a gift certificate to A and W, where the new Masala Veggie Burger is here to stay, only at A&W. Available now for a limited time price only for $6. Crisp patty made with nanak paneer. What is that? And a blend of real vegetables topped off with spicy piri sauce, layers of whole leaf lettuce, sliced tomato, and red onion. All sandwiched between a freshly toasted seeded bun, only at A&W. When I got to the hotel in Hamilton, I went to the club lounge, and they had a selection of various fruits that I could have. And I had a cantaloupe.
Okay.
Not a full cantaloupe, but I had slices of cantaloupe.
A full cantaloupe.
And I have to say, I said this on Reed's show. I was on Reed's show late Friday. Cantaloupe is delicious.
No, refreshing.
I could see myself becoming full-blown cantaloupe guy. I'm talking smoothies. I'm talking whatever else you can do with fruit.
I'm talking bringing a whole one on the plane and just kind of
I'm going to eat it like an apple or a banana.
Yeah.
I just
eat the rind.
Yeah. Lady next to me on the plane, she was a pilot. So yesterday on the way home from Toronto is where I flew out of to get back home yesterday. I was in an emergency row, and I had a pilot on one side of me and a pilot on the other. They were both going to fly from Edmonton somewhere. I don't know why. It's not but I felt really safe. Sit between two pilots.
You had your wings.
I know if something was going to happen, one of these two people would go save the day. Anyway, the one pilot, the female pilot on my left, she had a banana. She got up out of her bag, brought her bag down, opened it up, put a banana on the tray. I was like, what is this?
What did she do with it?
She ate it.
Did she eat it?
She ate a banana and a little bagel right next to me. And I was just like,
weird.
I didn't know you bring banana on a plane. That was kind of neat. Oh, man. Various adventures. It was a good time.
Happy belated Father's Day as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Father's Day was great yesterday. And it was even better because I hadn't seen my kids since Wednesday.
Daddy's home.
So they were, it's like even extra love.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
You get a gift?
I got home. What did we do? We had macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
But Tammy screwed up and got the gluten-free KD. We're all four of us are eating it. And if I was waiting for Tammy.
Where's the gluten?
Tammy's like, what's going on with this mac and cheese? I said, I know. It doesn't taste normal. What's happening here? We rarely have it because it's kind of a nice treat. And she got up, went over and looked at the box. She's like, I got gluten-free. So I'm just going to throw this out there. For everybody who has to eat gluten-free KD, I feel you. I mean, that sucked. Then what did we do? We played some basketball yesterday, played some hockey inside, played some video games, had Mr. Mike's for Father's Day dinner. Kids made me a cheesecake. It was a great day.
Yeah.
Except
for Tammy dropping the ball on the damn gluten.
Yeah, except for Tammy accidentally buying. What a clever play. Accidentally buying gluten-free mac and cheese. Yeah.
She owes you a pack of gluten.
That's what it is. I want you to go.
I want a pound of gluten
and get extra gluten in my next box of KD. You know who I felt worse for through the weekend? That guy right there. YouTube Trev. Buddy, you get to go to the game with your dad and your brother. Tickets were not cheap. How are you at the game? How are you now? I am sorry, your favorite team ever totally crapped the bed with you in attendance at your first ever playoff game.
Yeah, we're still recovering. I'm not gonna lie. It was not the outcome we wanted, but I tell you, it was such an amazing time. I'm having a hard time getting the pros because I just wanted to win so bad. I just wanted to win. So, but you know what? I look past the game. And I had an amazing weekend with my dad and brother, and we were able to just show. I was able to show the dad and bro downtown Edmonton. We got to go to some cool breweries, and that was really fun. And the food, they really enjoyed it. But I waited my whole life to be part of a playoff game, and let alone I guess I won last year, but the final game. And it was amazing. It was. I loved the national anthem. That was just so sweet. But yeah, it was tough. It didn't really. We didn't start celebrating really hard until the third period, and that was kind of frustrating.
You get that goal, you're like,
yeah,
it's not over yet.
And then I was like, the whole building was just nuts. Like, it was crazy. I'm like, this is it. This is amazing. And then Reinhardt comes down and scores, and just, that was a swift kick. in the gonads.
I could see you in the crowd. You're like, this is it. It's happening.
Yeah,
like, we all got up. The comeback.
Yeah, we were into it. We were like, okay, this is it.
So, and it lasted so long.
It did.
Like so little time. It just
it was tough. So it's, you know what? I'm trying to get the pros, and there were a lot of pros, and all in all, like being able to celebrate it with, or just the whole weekend with the dad and bro, and just seeing my
I'm
dad
glad you got to have that time.
Yeah, it was awesome, and he laid loose. He got a little intoxicated, which I haven't really seen much of, like at all. So it was nice.
You
like
got drunk with your dad for the first time ever.
Yeah,
like
it was
that
good.
is so cool
for the boys'
for
weekend.
You guys.
So yeah, we had fun, but not the outcome we wanted. That's for sure.
Ah, man. If they would have won that game, that might have been the greatest weekend of your entire life.
Yeah, and you know what? It was already up there. Like, this is already a top 5 weekend of my life. It is. It has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
And, it would have been like just all week. Dad was like, oh, so what's it going to be like if they win? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, brace yourself, right?
Yeah.
But, like, after the loss, like when we stepped out of Rogers, just the whole ice district there, it was still a party. Like, it was still a pretty cool experience. So it's just like, oh, like if they won, what would have happened and how much longer would we have stayed out, but all in all, it was still pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad you got to have that cool experience.
Yeah.
I'm very angry at them for doing that to you,
I know.
Now,
I was pretty ticked.
And now the positive part of all of this is that you guys got your tickets at fansfirst.ca and saved like $1,400.
This is true. This is true. So saved the old
Imagine
man
buying something. Usually when you buy something, you get 14 save on, it's a vehicle.
Yeah.
Like usually you save like $1,400 on a vehicle.
Yeah.
You guys saved $1,400 on tickets at Fans First.
Yeah, that's insane. And then, just one last thing. Huge shout out to the daddies listening right now. So thank you so much, Dad. Happy Father's Day. You're the best.
Oh my God. I'm getting emotional over here.
Love you, Daddy.
God.
I love you, Daddy.
Oh my God. He loves his daddy. I love my daddy. And my kids love me and I'm their daddy. What a morning. What a morning. This is so much fun. I cried a little bit yesterday. I did. Tammy took some pictures yesterday while we were doing like presents.
Not because of the gluten.
Check it out. These are joggers. Boy. These are the fancy joggers. Touch my leg right there. Feel that?
Yeah. No,
they're not sweats.
Yeah. Oh, I know what those are.
These are the joggers that everybody's talking about.
Yep.
Kevlar.
I'm wearing very similar to those.
Are you?
Right now, yeah.
You guys
anyway,
Great joggers.
The Muzz got me these for Father's Day. And I think she also got me some soft and chewy Chips Ahoy cookies. Which was good. Marshall got me some treats as well. And then he got me a beard trimmer.
Oh,
yeah.
Very timely.
I cleaned up on Father's Day yesterday. But yeah, I teared up a little bit because Tam took some pictures when we were doing presents and stuff. And just the looks in the kids' eyes. Like your kids really love you. You can just tell. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice time. Very nice time. All right. Where are we? Okay, we'll get to your morning announcements. We're coming back around to the game 100% at 6:30.
Oilers.
Well, it was such a great sports weekend. We're going to get to your morning announcements coming up. Let me lay out the show for your morning announcements. We'll dabble in a few other things. Just whip through them quickly.
How dare you?
I know.
Some
but the
nerve.
pot's 64.
Some nerve coming back here off a Father's Day weekend. No gluten in your system, thinking you can talk all this other jibber jabber.
I could do 3 hours on the Desmond Bain trade. Well, that's what I could do.
Raphael Devers.
Yeah, well, how about that? How about that? I don't know. I know Cookson must have mentioned that. He emailed his liners over today. He must have mentioned. He didn't. He's so in hockey mode right now. He didn't even mention that his Giants pulled the trigger on a huge deal.
That pitcher was getting ready to start Sunday Night Baseball. He's part of the deal.
Unbelievable. Yeah. The NBA, hey? Or the MLB, Major League Baseball.
All of it's going on right now.
We're going to dive back into Game 5. How do you continue to start so poorly? We'll get into that. And did Knobloch finally screw up? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Like, we'll get into it. 6:30 today. Good, bad, ugly from the weekend coming up for the 780. Just after 7 o'clock, Craig Button today. Dregs is flying. Button would be on a plane and join us anyway because he's always available. It's insane. I feel like I could text Craig at 2 a.m. and be like, hey, can you hop on the show at 2 a.m.? I'm sitting here waiting for the link. So Button's going to join us just after 7 o'clock. Your Play Alberta early bird bet of the day. Hashtag Association City. We're going to get into that. The Fan Zone for Fans First at 7:30 this morning. That's a good for the Italian Center around 7:45. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. TSN's Ryan Rashad from the Got Your Back podcast. That'll happen around 8:30 today. I haven't heard otherwise, so hopefully Shoggy will join us around 8:30.
That's always a mystery.
And then it's always a text around 8:15. Like, is he he in? Is he out?
I can't do it. Now I can do it, right? There's always those. The back and forth.
Yeah. And then we'll get to the wrap for William Huff. But boy, this is going to be a fun show today. And we're going to dive into this. I think as guys who like to talk about sports, they have provided us with a number of things to talk about today on the show. So
have time for an empty list.
Let's get to your morning announcements. It was
Ryan from SK. Fans first is the equivalent to the no state tax.
It's a true advantage.
It's a hell of a take.
Who was that?
Ryan from SK.
Ryan from SK. That's a pretty good text,
That's a hell of
I'm gonna leave that there. Ryan from SK. That's kind of funny, actually. Fans first is the equivalent of a no state tax. All right, morning announcements. So it was such a good weekend in sports. Where do we even start? We start week 2 CFL. Talk JJ Spawn, talk George Russell, talk the NBA blockbuster.
Talk McLaren.
There's oh my God. We come back around to that good, bad, ugly.
But I mean, yeah.
What are you doing? Piastri and Norris, teammates colliding late in the race when they're both in a good spot.
Verstappen gets the, he podiums and then puts more pressure.
Went after George Russell. He went after George Russell,
They were in the
too.
timeout zone there, yeah.
No,
Lance
that was
Stroll finished.
Yeah, congratulations to Lance Stroll for actually finishing his home race. So that's terrific. Like I said, I dabbled into IndyCar last night.
Yeah.
Kirkwood, can't remember his first name, but Kirkwood ended up winning. It was his third race victory.
I think that's his only name.
IndyCar is, he's like Messi.
He's Brazilian.
He's Neymar.
Kirkwood.
That's it. That was a pretty fun race. I didn't even watch all of it, but I'm on Twitter and I saw somebody, and it wasn't Hernan. Hernan's very pro IndyCar, but I saw somebody on Twitter be like, wow, this IndyCar race is amazing. I was like, you know what? I'm sitting around, didn't have much to do. Kids were getting ready for bed and stuff. I turned it on, and then I was locked in. I think I turned it on around lap 190 of 260. So I got the final 70 laps. There's lots going on. Somebody should have brought IndyCar to my attention ages ago.
If you've got the cable package, there's a local Seattle station, and they have racing out there every Sunday night, and the cars go in a figure 8.
Really?
So when you cross, sometimes they hit.
Oh my God! What is this?
And they
a Cars
going.
movie?
It's hilarious. Evergreen Raceway. You should check it out. Now that's racing.
That's really racing. I described to the boys in the chat yesterday, like IndyCar. At least yesterday, because it was on an oval. But IndyCar is like what would happen if a NASCAR had sex with a Formula One car.
Yeah.
And this was their child. That's what it looked like to me, seeing the IndyCar on the oval.
It's like the movie Cars, but PG-13 or something.
But it was fun. Blockbuster trade in the NBA. Desmond Bain goes to the Magic for KCP, a couple other players, and 4 first-rounders. You know who had better numbers last year than Desmond Bain?
4 first-rounders?
Austin Reeves.
Oh.
Could the Lakers get 4 first-rounders for Austin Reeves? Probably not. But we'll come back around to this. Ohtani's going to pitch tonight? That's a thing. Ohtani's pitching tonight. So we've got that we could discuss. But week 2 in the Canadian Football League. Another great week. Congratulations to your Riders.
I don't own a share, so not mine.
Your family must own some shares.
My father has one, yes.
I figured
but it's not in my...
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he gives it to my brother. I don't...
I was chatting with the play-by-play voice of the Riders on radio.
DT.
Yeah.
So, the real DT.
Yeah. So he pulls me aside. We were both in Hamilton there. He goes, I got to tell you this story. He goes, I can't remember where he said he was. It must have been maybe training camp. And he goes, I'm standing there and somebody grabs my arm. And I was just like, what? He goes, and the guy goes,
I know who it is.
Yeah, he goes,
I know who it is.
I'm Lieutenant Eric's father.
Yeah. No.
So they chatted back and forth. He goes, I've been telling him to cut his damn hair.
Oh, yeah. No, I hear it every single day I talk to him. He's a hawk at the training camps, though.
Yeah, he loves the training camp, eh? Yeah. No, that's, I thought that was.
He measures them. He weighs them.
Nice.
Like he does most of that type of stuff.
Nice win for the Riders. Ticats are a fun team to call, for sure. Kenny Lawler's a freak. That one catch Kenny Lawler had was ridiculous.
No, but the one Dante Myers had equally impressive.
That was good. You know what? I can't believe they challenged that. You got to look at it. His foot was clearly in.
Yeah, I know what they were seeing.
Yeah, both of the challenges used in that game were not good challenges.
Yeah, I didn't get the Lawler one either, where he was kind of Right near the goal line there.
When he went out of bounds, he did lose control, but he took 3 steps in
He
bounds.
made a football move. Yeah.
I thought it should have been a touchdown.
Tell me Nathan Rourke's going to be okay.
From a fantasy perspective, first overall pick.
This is crushing me in week 2.
I mean, if anybody's going to have that, it would be Farhan. I didn't watch Farhan's big video after. He always does a good job posting a video after the game. All I know, reevaluated for an oblique injury this week. Now, I hope he's good to go because I'm going to Vancouver on Saturday to call the rematch between the Bombers and the Lions. How about the Bombers? They lose Brady Oliveira.
That's enough. I've had enough.
Former University of Alberta Golden Bear running back Matthew Peterson gets in, goes off for, 35-yard touchdown, 37-yard touchdown, first of his career. I'll say that. And there was a little bit extra juice in my call for that because he was a former Golden Bear.
Well, you're familiar with the
Yeah, that was
scene.
nice.
Nick Dembski, more touchdowns in that game than he had all year for me last year.
He had 6 touchdowns each of the last 2 years, 2 touchdowns in this game. Strevler comes in. If you would have told me that Strevler runs the ball 2 times for 9 yards, and you said, Dusty, do you think the Bombers win? I would have said, there's no way. But they did.
And putting on a passing clinic, though.
Oh, yeah.
For Chris Strevler.
Strevler was great.
I mean, yeah.
Strevler was outstanding in that game. Montreal rolls over the Red Blacks, doubling them up 39-18. Next stop for the Alouettes, right here, Edmonton, Thursday night. And you know what? This is a rare situation where I'm not out of town and I'm also not calling that game.
What?
So I'm gonna see. I might go sit in the truck with the guys because I've never sat in the truck and watched, my buddies work.
Does that mean you can tailgate?
I mean, technically, I guess. Well,
you could
I'm not even sure I'll get there because I think
yeah.
I'll probably be coaching some sport.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd like to just take the whole family, but school night and that stuff. But I'd like to be there. But that'll be a tough one, man. Their offense is going to have to be much better if you're going to beat the Montreal Alouettes. And then Calgary goes to 2-0 out in Toronto, and then Calgary returns home to get Ottawa, and we'll see what the status of Drew Brown is. But if they don't have Drew Brown, I mean, the 3-0 is very much in play for Calgary here. So,
well, and Toronto now 0-2 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they need Chad Kelly back yesterday.
They need. I can't even evaluate the Argos.
He didn't win them the Grey Cup, but a lot of turnover there. Murphy always has the next guy up. Doesn't look like it's so soon.
All right, so there you go. That's everything that happened. Now back to the hockey game. We're how do you continue to start like this? Some of you have had some great text messages already sent in. We will get to those.
Don't you think, though, with this team never being out of it and always coming back, this would be the ultimate comeback?
It would be. And
the whole storyline, this is it.
2009, Sidney Crosby was down 3-2 to the Red Wings. Won the Stanley Cup.
Was it also in this going away? Like, was it in the same, you know what I'm saying, fashion?
I can't remember if they had
2009, yeah.
2009.
Because
I can't remember if they had the home ice or not. Oh, look at Bruce from William Huff says Matthew Peterson, a former William Huff employee.
Oh, okay.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Former William Huff employee and U of A Gold.
And U of A Gold. I should have had that call.
We
Matthew Peterson to the house. He's come a long way from the first job he ever had at William Huff.
Wrapping it up.
All right. Fun weekend in the Canadian Football League. We'll probably revisit that. We got our good, bad, and ugly from the weekend for the 780. One of our partners with our merch in store, which is fun. But we got to dive back into Game 5 here. I'm rolling up the sleeves. There's lots to discuss. And these starts are unacceptable. I mean, how do you expect, at this point, Florida just deserves to win the Stanley Cup. It's just how it is. I know it kills Oilers fans, but that's just reality right now. This team needs to find another gear here in Game 6. And when people doubt them, why not just make it easy? Why not just win Game 5? God, every time with this team.
At home.
I know.
That's where you thought the 2 out of the 3.
God, that was a tough look. We'll get into that coming up right now. Let's get to a sports update with LT.
Oilers will go back to Sunrise down 3-2 in the Stanley Cup Final, Game 6 tomorrow night. Meanwhile, the NBA Finals, Game 5 tonight from OKC between the Thunder and Pacers. Series even at 2, tip-off 6:30. On the diamond, the Jays swept aside over the weekend by the Phillies following an 11-4 loss yesterday. Toronto back home to host the Diamondbacks for a 3-game set beginning tomorrow. Red Sox, meanwhile, dealing Rafael Devers to the Giants yesterday for a pair of pitchers and prospects. Riverhawks fall 12-6 out in Kamloops to the north. Pause to wrap up a road trip. Hawks are back home to kick off a 6-game homestand tomorrow night against Bellingham. Energy City Cactus Rats, they fall 8-3 to the Okotoks Dogs. Cactus Rats will visit the Weyburn Beavers this week for a pair of games beginning tomorrow. JJ Spawn outlasting the field to capture a sloppy U.S. Open. He finished 1 under in a 2-stroke victory over Robert McIntyre. Up next, we'll dive more into the Stanley Cup Final as Hour 1 of the Nielson Show continues here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all of the bad guys. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Gadrick and Gage. Maybe it's Bubba to Kuban to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramella, Rapaport, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving person, does he go for? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
All right, 6:34 with the AM Nasty. Thank you very much for being here today. You can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Haji texted in this morning and says, it's not going to do us any good sitting here and whining about it. We're in a hole. We're just going to have to dig ourselves out. Signed, Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah.
Nice Dumb and Dumber reference.
Except we can't do anything about it. They're going to have to do it. Like,
we did confirm the Pittsburgh Penguins, eh? They won Game 6 at home. You know, not them won the cup on the road.
But I think we can whine about it. I think fans are.
Oh yeah, no, you're definitely allowed to whine about it today, folks.
You're not getting paid the big bucks. Yeah. You're paying the big bucks unless you go through fans first. But
780-218-9999. Want to get to this one quickly from Stove. Guys, can I get a conch for our U15 Camrose Crossfire girls who won gold in Black Falls this weekend? I'm a very proud coach / dad after the tenacity they showed all weekend. Oh, I love that. Andrew texted in at 3:20 this morning and said this team is not for the light-minded or the weak-hearted. Oil in 7. Jaunty in Victoria, the full Jaunty. He's on his way to Quebec City. He was in Manitoba. He sent this at 1:54 in the morning. Good morning, fellas.
Is he hitching?
Please answer my question because I'm pissed. Not drunk pissed, pissed off. Oh, man, Jaunty. Jaunty's a kind-hearted soul.
Yes, doesn't sound like him.
What is this? This is the full Jaunty. I mean, and then in caps, who's responsible for how a team starts a game? The players, the coaching staff, the leadership group, the Oilers leadership group, 97, 29, 25, etc. is one constant over these last several years of unforgivable, inexplicable, slow starts in the most crucial games, so I blame them. Please give me and us listeners, 1, your take on who's responsible for the slow starts. 2, why they can't effing get it right. The Oilers' best players are exhausted because they expend so much energy unnecessarily, having to come from behind again and again and again. Jaunty in Jets country on the way to Quebec City.
I'd like to use that and ask both of our guests this morning because Button and Rishaug have two different... Rishaug's down. He's in the trenches, right? He's around this team, and can leadership group and everything. Button comes from obviously a managerial role. It'd be nice to hear their thoughts on all of this, but I mean, is it a shared blame by all of the parties he names, or are you zoning in on one particular? I mean, coaches at this stage of the game, what are you going to do? Is it a coach's responsibility to get you fired up at home when you're tied at 2 in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final? shouldn't think that
I don't know. I don't know that, Jonty, you're going to hate me for this, but I don't know the answer to this question because, I mean, that entire group, every single guy from the training staff on up should be more fired up than they've ever been in their entire life. Now, I didn't watch the game live, obviously, because I was calling a game myself, but I watched it after. I watched a shorter version of it, and then I watched the whole thing again. I didn't necessarily hate their first period. Like, I know they came out of it in a bad spot, but they had a number of chances that they just couldn't bury. Right? Like, it wasn't as bad as that other game where the high danger scoring chances were 13-1 and Skinner, who was probably your best player in that period, ended up getting essentially a mercy pull. They had their chances. They couldn't bury them.
I think you've seen so many poor starts, though, traditionally from this team.
100%.
That when you don't have a really good start or things don't go your way, it's viewed that way. And the Panthers, like, let's be honest, they have good starts. They have really great starts, and that also kind of takes the vibe away.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 if you want. But they've been outscored 11-4 in the first periods of this series and 7-0 in the first period of games 3, 4, 5. 7-0 in games 3, 4, 5. And you're supposed to win a Stanley Cup? You can't do that against most of the league, let alone the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, who look like they're a better team than the team that you faced last year. Why can this team not have a 1-0 lead after a first period? Why can they not have a 2-0? Why can't they lead 2-1? Why can't they find a way to do something in the first period of these hockey games?
Because the Panthers are a cut above from what they've seen so far this Stanley Cup playoff. I know you had the tweet beginning of last week. What's the biggest... I'm paraphrasing here. What's the biggest concern when it comes to the Oilers? I said the Panthers.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not. Well, but
I said it before the series. There's no shame in losing the Panthers, but it's extremely frustrating.
But also, on the flip side of that, have we seen the best Oilers yet this series? And I'm not talking about like a healthy Hyman and Ekholm. Like, I'm not talking about that best, but the best that they could bring
for
in the
very
state they're in right now.
Spurts.
Yeah.
That's not how you win a Stanley Cup.
No.
Like, you don't win a Stanley Cup by playing your best hockey for very small spurts. And I mean, you look at it right now and just say, even when they're at their best, I mean, Florida's just a really good hockey team. Trev, where do you come out on the starts? Where do you come out on all this?
Yeah, and it's just going back to the original question, like, who do you put it on? I mean, Connor McDavid, he came out last week saying, I don't think that we came out and brought our absolute best. I still think there's a lot more to, show the Panthers, and I think that's what a lot of fans and kind of what I and my family and my dad, what we were expecting going into Saturday's game. We were expecting the legacy game. We were expecting the big guys to really, really show up. And you look at the opportunity they have, like, you were here last year. You would have to expect Connor McDavid being like, no, like, I was here last year. Don't dig in. Like, I as the captain need to bring it. So for Button, who will be joining us, and Ryan Rashad, I have to think that it's got to start with the leadership. And it's tough to blame Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl because they do so much. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they're the best players in the world. And I'm not going to lie, aside from Connor McDavid's goal, he was pretty invisible at the game. Like, he really was. And so was Leon Draisaitl. So I feel like it really stems from the top. And then it goes down, but it has to. You have to start with your leaders right now. Like, you have to. And so that's probably who I'd put the blame on for not showing up.
Well, the interesting thing, like, Bennett and Marchand have been the best two forwards in this series.
Yes.
They just have. I mean, I don't even think it's debatable. McDavid and Draisaitl overall would be the best two forwards, like, if you were starting a hockey team today in this series. But they've been outplayed by guys who now. I look at it from this perspective. And first of all, I mean, Bobrovsky's a Hall of Famer. He's unbelievable. Nothing against Skinner and Pickard, but you can't match that dude. I mean, you can't. The Oilers are going to have to try to find a way to get to him. But, like, yeah, there's McDavid and Draisaitl, and we can talk about them with the starts maybe. But the Florida Panthers forward group is just so much better. and so much deeper than the Edmonton Oilers forward group. I mean, it's a significantly better constructed team on Florida's side right now.
And I think the Oilers forward group was
perspective.
playing good coming into this, which would give you hope. Like they were finding
but they never
themselves.
played.
No, but they aren't a consistent what you would put up to that Florida
Dallas
level.
was probably the best forward group I thought the Oilers played. And that Dallas forward group compared to the forward group in Florida is just, I mean, Barkov has been kind of quiet in this series. Reinhart has kind of been quiet in this series, and it doesn't matter. Those are their two best. Yeah, like those are their best guys. It doesn't matter. They've got Bennett. Verhaeghe's had a big goal. Marchand's been an absolute beast. Like and sometimes I think you have to just tip your hat to the other guys and say, congratulations, you have a better team than the one that Edmonton is currently rolling.
And again, not making excuses, but the omission of Zach Hyman, not only himself, but the way Kane was playing in the lineup as well, the numbers are night and day.
Yeah.
So not only him being on the ice and doing what he was doing, but allowing other players around him to do things and create. That's a massive loss heading into, as you mentioned, a matchup where you have the forward depth such as this. Losing a guy like that is huge.
Yeah, not having Hyman is a major, major blow to the group. I guess maybe I was buying in too much of what we were seeing from the rest of the forward group heading into a series like this.
But I think
those guys like.
I think it's
Kapanen, Skinner, Henrique. I didn't even know he's playing in this series.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of guys who just aren't even remotely close to being in the same class as the top 9 of the Florida Panthers. Like, just sit there and compare the two top 9s. When a 40-year-old Corey Perry is one of your most consistent and impactful forwards. Like Corey Perry's been great, but come on.
Yeah, you're talking about sustainability there, right? Like they've had spurts this run where you're like, wow, the depth, the depthology of this team, but the sustainability of it isn't on the level the Panthers are at. Unsigned text says Ekholm can't keep up. He's a liability.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the Matthias Ekholm that we saw in last year's playoffs. You can't get beat. Like, a few of those goals that they allowed, you can't be beaten that way. Like, Wallman can't get walked by Brad Marchand. Put a shoulder into his bloody chest. Ekholm, like, off the face-off, you're letting Brad Marchand walk in. What are we doing here? So their breakdowns were significant and extremely frustrating, for sure. Now, this is a team that when you've counted them out, they seem to find a way. But the problem is now you're trying to do that against an insanely talented Florida Panthers team.
Yeah.
Which is just going to be very tough to do. Like, I almost feel like they're going to have, I'm assuming, Skinner in game 6. Either he's going to have to steal one, or the Oilers as a team are going to have to play perfect hockey if they're going to come back and win this series. Because Florida, I don't see Florida having a stinker. Like,
pretty galvanized coming home after going, you've got 2 of the 3 on the road now you're facing. You go and you take that first one. Now you're coming home with a chance. Like, that's...
Yeah. Tough spot to be in. Trev, do you think Knobloch, and somebody came at me, but brought it up on Twitter when I was like, you know what? Knobloch usually pushes the right buttons when he was making the lineup changes. I said, ever since I doubted him when he put Kapanen in, we've sat here on this show and just said, the knob adjustments have usually worked. Trev, do you think his magic wore off with the...
It's funny how it's Kapanen again.
We were all saying Pickard was probably going to start. Pickard didn't have a great game. He was kind of how Skinner had been.
Yeah.
But Kapanen comes out. I thought they could have used his energy. I would assume Kapanen goes back in for the next game. Does he eventually get back to Klingberg here at some point? Trev, what do you think of Knobloch's decisions for that game?
Yeah, I think as far as the change up front with Arvidsson being in, like I didn't think anything I saw from game 4 warranted Kapanen coming out of the lineup. Like, I didn't think he was hurting the team. I think he should have been in the lineup. He's a lot more physical than Arvidsson, and I think he's got a little bit more hustle right now. So I would have been okay with seeing him in the lineup. And as for Pickard starting, I mean, it's tough. Like, you were going to ask anyone who should start after what he was able to do in OT. I feel like everyone, 90% of people would have been like, no, he's your go-to guy. Yeah. Look at the record that he's had. I was okay with it. I really was. But now the issue is there is that question. if the risk of putting him in, well, if he does suck or if he doesn't, if he gets a loss, an L, who do you play going forward? And that wouldn't have been a question if Skinner was in the net. So it's a toss up now. I think you got to go with. You probably have to go with
I
Skinner.
think most places I've seen, like I think the On Right Show posted a poll last night. Somebody else. Most places I've seen, it's been Skinner. 80% of people think Skinner should start Game 6.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd go back to Skinner in Game 6.
I think so. I feel like when called upon, Pickard has had a little bit of a harder time. But when he's, like stealing a game, if he's brought into a game, I think that's more of his role. But starting, he has a hard time getting into the game. That's just my thoughts there. But yeah, Skinner, I mean, you expected a big one for him in Game 4. I don't think he was the reason why the Oilers were down 3-0 going into that one.
They I haven't been with you guys since then.
Yeah.
That first period of that game was absolutely pathetic.
It was.
I couldn't believe that.
But they came back.
I don't know
how.
What do we say? What do you say? When you play with fire this much,
you're playing with their food.
You're about to get burned here. Can you play with fire at this stage against that team this often? And I'm not sure you can. I've been very like gung ho for this team pretty much the entire way, but this is a real reality check here. Like you're supposed to win back-to-back games against the Florida Panthers when they have led for 200 minutes in this series, and it's just been miraculous comebacks that have even kept you alive up until this point. Right?
Yeah.
Their 2 wins have been amazing comebacks.
Yeah, I think it's you have to go back with Skinner.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. CB Radio guy says, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to just be a dreamer here. The Oilers are going to win this series. It's going to happen. I watched McDavid walk past my house with his wife Saturday night at 10:30, and I just got that feeling seeing him, and it led to my reflection text from earlier. They are doing this.
Sure. They still can.
Right,
they haven't lost the series yet.
No, they haven't lost a series. They they love when people doubt them, and people are doubting them, myself included.
All those things, yeah.
We'll see what we're talking about come Wednesday morning. Are they forcing a Game 7? And, at that point, you're going to be like, they're coming home. They got it in Game 7. But that's the same thing I said in Game 5. And they didn't. It's just, Florida's a really good hockey team. It sucks to say it, but they are a really, really good team with a Hall of Famer between the pipes. Got to find a way to do it. And we'll have to see. And this falling behind every single game is getting old, though. Like, why can't they get out and front run a little bit? No? It's crazy to me. 780-218-9999. 780-218. What Coach Mike says, if Knobloch was going to scratch Kapanen, you think it would have been after Game 3. He had a tough game in Game 3. Miranda down in YYC bringing some heat this morning. Morning, guys. Not sure about the starts, but the way this roster is built is a joke. You have the number one player you need to re-up. You're on a Stanley Cup run. You bolster your roster with fines off the scrap heap. These are guys 2 years from now, we will struggle to remember their names year after year. The character of this team is solidly Gen Z, and that's not a compliment. It's beyond frustrating. Miranda and YYC. Look at Miranda bringing the heat today. She's usually calm and cool.
But we were all praising them like weeks back. We were going into the weekend. I remember the conversation we were having, like, who down the lineup is going to be the hero of it? Like, who? Yeah. Jeff Skinner going to score the over? Like, it goes game by game, but this depth has shown up, but the sustainability of it, especially against a team like the Panthers,
that's what happens when
it's not good enough.
Florida's just, their forward group's just that much better.
Sure.
As long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot, they're going to be a very tough team to beat. We will continue this conversation because we've got Craig Button coming up just after 7. We've got the Fan Zone at 7:30 today. We've got Your Back podcast host Ryan Rashad, who's going to join us around 7:30 this morning as well. Right now, let's get into the good, bad, and ugly from the weekend for the 780. You might be able to find the odd Winiat shirt. I think they're pretty much sold out everywhere. We will have another run on EST shirts, I'm assuming, in the summer as well. You'll be able to find those over at the 780. You would love an EST tank top. Yeah, that
one
would
of the
be
half
good.
cuts. Yeah.
Oh,
expose that midriff.
Maybe you want a mesh. You want a mesh tank top.
Yeah. Nipples hanging out.
That would be good. So when our shirts are available, you'll be able to find them at the 780, 5 locations around the city, including out by the airport in the outlet mall, the outlet collection. That's the sneaky space. That's the sneaky space at the 780. All right, what's your good from the weekend, man?
I'm going to the U.S. Open because that was hilarious. I tell you, and the weather delay, and it factors into my ugly as well. But the fact that it lasted a little longer was great for me, for my viewing. So, yeah, you're right. What a mess. More swinging there than insert your dirty joke. But I mean, people like just going at the ground, like pissed off every shot, like grass was flying.
It was hilarious to see.
You're watching, you're like, oh, yeah. I mean, the conditions were what they were, but JJ Spawn, 1 under, outlasting things. Like a lot of these guys are out of the picture before the cut. And now they're in contention by the end. Nobody kind of wanted it. I mean, they all wanted it.
That final group, Scott and Burns were like 7-8 over yesterday.
It was like for birdie. For birdie.
Here's another one for birdie.
Multiple like double books. It's like that thing, car crash and you can't turn away. And that's what it was to me. And it was very entertaining.
JJ Spawn was going to be my good. So I'll make it. I remember watching JJ Spawn fall apart playing Rory right here on the old EST
we were going to have another
TV.
Monday.
I was thinking with Bobby Mack and JJ Spawn on a Monday showdown. But for an event that was so like JJ Spawn shot a 40 on the front and then won the US Open. That just summarizes how bad it was at Oakmont. And I'm not sure he had his signature moment, but I'm very glad he got it on the final putt. Like when you look at great moments in U.S. Open history, nothing from this Oakmont event was going to be there. It was going to be J.J. Spawn won that year when it was super rainy and nobody played well. Instead, he rolls in a 64-footer to seal it away, and now that goes on the U.S. Open highlight reel. So we probably wouldn't have remembered this J.J. Spawn victory 5 to 10 years from now, but that 64-footer to roll in your first major, just your second win ever.
Yeah.
$4 million is a quarter of what he's made during his career already. I thought that was kind of cool to see him roll that in and have that moment.
And for McIntyre, no offense to him, but winning when you're sitting there waiting and doing it on somebody, it's kind of weird. Also, pour one out for, this poor bat, Sam Burns, too tough. Man. The Canadian, where he lost in the playoff there. And then yesterday, I mean, he had it in the bag.
He wanted that, he wanted a drop in the standing water, and they didn't give it to him, so he had to play it out of there. Yeah, it was
tied
insane.
for 7th when it was all said and done.
What's your bad from the weekend?
Well, the bad's got to be the Oilers. That's just a given. I don't know.
I'm going to go back to the starts on the ugly.
You could go, however you want to slice it. I mean, forward depth, again, it's not excuses, but it's reasons. And Zach Hyman's omission from this forward group is huge, and not only because he's not playing, but how it freed up and maybe let a couple of other guys do their thing and play their game. So I don't know how the series would look if he's in it, how different it might be, but I think it would be different. So a bad, again, we were going into the weekend. Trev had his visitors and it was just all, but again, it's the ups and downs. It's the swings and roundabouts of the Stanley Cup final. And one day you're up, the next day you're down. Who's to say that we're not up again back by Wednesday? So chin up, get after it. You have a day now and, a half leading up to tomorrow's puck drop to do a lot of good deeds in your life.
Yeah.
Like I'd go out and
good deeds.
I'd start being a doorman at a mall or you just stand there and open doors or whatever it needs to do to get the good vibes going. That's all that you can do as a fan from here on out until the start of Game 6. So yeah, bad weekend for the Oilers. Lots of stuff going on in sports. That's easily stands out as the bad.
My bad. I want to just go to this t-shirt guy or the jersey guy for a second. See the guy? Okay, so
the plant.
Okay, so planted by the NHL or Sportsnet or like nobody does that, right? Trev, did you were at the game? You might not have seen this. There was a guy that popped up on Sportsnet who had an Oilers jersey on, took his Oilers jersey off, but
what a loser!
We're thinking it was probably a plant for TV.
Hey, good on the cameras to
like
get
something that goes
exact
viral.
Time, right? They got it. They just caught it. Caught it at the exact
I don't
time.
know, man. Like
They
it
had an
doesn't really
ISO
add
cam
up.
on him for some reason, and they caught him when he did
That's
it.
the thing.
Just what luck.
I don't see anybody having the balls to roll in and do that at
You know
that
how
arena
this goes
outside of,
behind
like
the
a guy
scenes
who's
with things
planted.
like,
Yeah. But why do you have to do that if you're the NHL? Like,
it's funny.
I
know humor.
guess.
I didn't.
It was.
him.
Do
NHL
people
knows
agree with
humor.
us? That guy was planted.
I would have had a word with him if I saw him.
Had to have been a plant.
Yeah.
Probably planted him as soon as this. Was anybody sitting in that area? And then, like, after he took the jersey off, did he leave? Was that it? Like, was it done?
Yeah, but even like that's
probably had a suit on.
I don't know why you do that
if I'm
as
the producer.
the league or the TV broadcast to be like, you know what would be great? Let's plant a guy taking off.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
Yeah, that is that
That's
your bad or
strange
ugly?
to me? That was my bad.
Oh, that is bad.
That was my bad.
I would never expect a decision like that from the NHL. They're usually pretty on the. They usually have their finger on the pulse when it comes to.
Somebody must have done it in the
what's
NBA
funny and
and then
what's
they
cool.
copied it.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're ugly from the weekend.
Well, I did a lot of work yesterday. Did a lot of stuff. Did a lot of in order to watch the Canadian Grand Prix on my own time.
And you texted me, said no. You texted me, said no spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers. Well, guess who spoiled it?
Zach.
Me.
Oh, you? How?
So when the race starts at noon, I'm doing so finally 3:00. I can watch the race. So I get down. I'm all
the chores
situated. I'm ready to go. I even did the pre because I wanted to watch Martin Brundle.
The walk.
I love
you
the
love
grid
the
walk.
walk.
Martin's grid walk. So I watched all that. That ended. I was like, okay, I'll go to the PVR menu and put the race on. Did I click the race or did I click the checkered flag?
No!
I'm not
what
really
an idiot.
So I click checkered flag, not knowing it's on, and you know, I'm like, okay, well, they're just showing something from last year. And then they start going over like who won, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like,
Yeah,
Like-
that's a tough one.
but it's a good thing that the U.S. Open had the weather delay. Because knowing what happened in the race, I decided not to bother with that. And I went to the golf. So it was great.
That's
so
right.
I kind of, but ugly for me in my PVRing skills yesterday. It was embarrassing.
And then, of course, you went on later to see all the reaction to the Desmond Bain trade in the NBA, which we'll ask Rishaug about when he joins us at 8:30. My ugly is a team that gets so frustrated when people ask them if they can defend, has now allowed 23 goals in 5 Stanley Cup Finals games. 3 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals. If you're going to be so adamant that you can defend when it's asked of you, might be time to start defending.
Should be able to outscore those, though. If
Might
you're
be
an
to-
offensive
well, I
team.
mean,
if you have the offensive firepower that they like to.
I don't know. I just think it's a bad look right now because they can't defend against Florida. Might have been able to do it against some other teams, but if you're going to win the Stanley Cup, you're going to have to find a way to do it against Florida, and they haven't been able to do that just yet. Contra, everybody in the 6 o'clock hour. I also I will say this, trending right now on X, Oilers in 7. So people are still out there. Oilers in 7. Obviously, a thing that we will continue to discuss on this show today. The fan zone is coming up. What would you do with the lineup for Game 6 if you were Knobloch? We'll get into that around 7:30 today. The Play Alberta early bird bet of the day is on the way. Of course, Edmonton Sports Talk presented to you by our partners at Play Alberta. And hopefully, I mean, it's major silver lining, but my play of the day on Friday was a Connor McDavid goal in Game 5. So hopefully some of you are riding with me on that one and you at least cashed despite the loss. So that was good. I got NBA parlay that's already up over there today. We'll come back around to that at 7:25 today. Craig Button in for Dreger. He's going to be coming up next. We will get his thoughts on how do you slow down 37-year-old Brad Marchand? And how ridiculous is it that I just said that sentence? But it's a question. We'll get into that with Craig Button coming up here just after 7 o'clock. You know, if they end up not coming back and winning the Stanley Cup, you're probably going to want to come to Mexico with us next February. Give Chelsea a call. Rick's going to have more on Expedia Cruises in Northeast Edmonton, but give Chelsea a call, 780-970-4834. We are going to Mexico February 22nd. The Nasties are coming with. It's less than $2,500, all-inclusive, Planet Hollywood Cancun Resort. You get direct flights, your booze, your food, and a glorious time with us in a lazy river which we're very much looking forward to. Let's get to the sports update with LT. Give Chelsea a call, 780-970-4834 if you want to come to old Mexico. I don't think I said that right. All right, here's the update.
I like that we're going to Planet Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like it's a different planet.
Yeah,
Really. Like,
let's pretend that.
Yeah.
Oh, we get on the planes? Wow, I thought a spaceship would be bigger.
Oilers going back to Sunrise down 3-2 in the Stanley Cup Finals as Game 6 goes tomorrow night. Game 5 of the NBA Finals, meanwhile, tonight from Oklahoma City between the Thunder and Pacers. That series tied at 2, tip-off 6:30. Jays swept aside over the weekend by the Phillies as they drop an 11-4 decision yesterday. Toronto will host the Diamondbacks to open a 3-game set tomorrow. Elsewhere, the Red Sox dealing Rafael Devers to the Giants last night for a pair of pitchers and prospects. Closer to home, the Riverhawks fall to 7-5 on the season as they drop a 12-6 game out in Kamloops to the North Paws. Hawks are back home to kick off a 6-game homestand starting tomorrow night against the Bellingham Bells. Energy City Cactus Rats, meanwhile, they lose 8-3 to the Okotoks Dogs. Cactus Rats are Saskatchewan bound. They'll visit the Weyburn Beavers this week for a pair of games beginning tomorrow. And J.J. Spawn outlasting the field to capture the U.S. Open. He'd finish at 1-under in a 2-stroke victory over the Scot, Robert McIntyre. Whether you're dreaming of crystal clear waters or exotic destinations, contact Chelsea LaBelle at Expedia Cruises in Northeast Edmonton to start planning your next cruise or vacation destination. Call 780-970-4834.
The Nasty Bash was awesome, so let's remember it with this song. The EST on Corey B, tattoos still looking strong. 6:30 wasn't working, so old Smash said so long. AM Nasty C and Frazier yelling, turn your headlights on. 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tommy met a new girl heading out the door. Normology's stripping, his shirt just hit the floor. Oh my, good lord. Someone poured me birdie booze on a shot ski. Now you know Reed Wilkins was a mystery. X-Ray J's pants got a little pissy. Everybody at the bash was a nasty.
Oh, 7:05, Nasty Bash, less than a month away.
Kind of sounds like the song was
2 months away.
Hudson's Bourbon last week, I guess.
Yeah.
Repurposed some
Apparently,
of the lyrics.
people had some good times at Hudson Bourbon Street last week. Tommy will be at Hudson's White Ave for Game 6. If you're looking to join the Nasties tomorrow, should be a pretty good crowd there for Game 6. All of our Nielson Show original songs brought to you by Totem Outdoor Outfitters. They've got new gear, used gear, trade and consign, sport for every season with hockey equipment and skates ready to go year round. And they're giving you a chance to win an Oilers jersey right now. You buy a punch card for skate sharpening, you'll get an entry. You finish a punch card for skate sharpening, you get an entry. Let's go Oilers. That's what they say at totemoutfitters.ca. Visit them at 7430 99th Street. Not just the best sharpens in town, but also the cheapest. Edmonton Sports Talk, title sponsor, Play Alberta. We'll have your early bird bet of the day coming up here around 7:25 today. And, of course, the Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Keep the text messages rolling in as we attempt to talk you through Game 5 and leading into Game 6. Craig Button is our hockey insider today, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Stanley Cup Final jersey patches and pucks, along with Western Conference Championship pucks, are in stock now. Order today in-store or online. Located in Edmonton in the corner of St. Albert Trail on 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. All right, let's bring in Craig Button this morning. And I have to say, looking good in that EST hat today. Button, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Matthew delivered it to me last week. I think it was Game 2, so have to make sure I wear it proudly.
How's it fit? Does it fit nice? Fits well?
Yeah, well, it's got one of these adjustments in the back. So if my head gets small or my head gets big, I can adjust it. So if I told you it didn't fit well, it would be user error.
Yeah, it's kind of tight. Well, Craig, there's these little things in the back. All right, Craig Button is with us on the show this morning. Craig, we were expecting the Oilers to kind of come out of the gate flying at home in Game 5, a chance to take control of the series and go up 3-2. They did not. Is that more on them, or is that more just on the Florida Panthers continuing to be a really good opponent?
Well, I mean, we know the Panthers are a really good opponent. I'll be straightforward. It was shocking to see what unfolded on Saturday night in Edmonton. And you right off the bat, it was really interesting. They were on a power play, and they do the drop, and McDavid picks up the drop, and he's trying to pick up speed. Like, he couldn't get into third gear, let alone fourth or fifth gear like he usually does. And it was right at that moment in time you're kind of going, like, they don't look like they have their legs. And I don't think they ever had their legs. They just weren't able. And when you're going to play a good opponent, they're going to recognize and close you off. And they didn't give them any space. And the Oilers weren't able to generate any space. They weren't able to generate any backward movement for the Florida Panthers. And post game, I said, when you have 18 players, skaters, that play below their capabilities, you have no chance to win, none whatsoever. And to me, that was a simple fact of Saturday night. They didn't have their legs. Nobody played to their capabilities on the Oilers, and that's why they lost the game. And it was shocking. And even the building, like you have all this excitement building up to crescendo, and then slowly, it was like air going out of a tire. You can hear it, you can feel it, and even when they scored, it was like, oh, they just scored. Like it was such a muted response, and I guess it's like anything else. It's one game, park it, move on. But the Oilers simply just didn't have. They didn't have one of their better nights. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with the one game, park it, move on. But there are some continuing storylines that are going from game to game, and one of those is first periods. I mean, the Panthers have outscored the Oilers 11-4 in the first period, 7-0 in the first period of the last 3 games. And people are asking us, they're like, who's responsible for this? Is it the coaching staff? Is it the leadership core? Is it the entire group? I mean, Craig, you're not going to win a Stanley Cup if you spot the other team 2 goals in the opening 20 minutes over and over and over again. So what is going on in the first period of these hockey games with this team?
Well, here's my analysis of what's going on. And Chris Knobloch post-game on Saturday, he tried to go, well, special teams. Chris, it has nothing to do with special teams. It has to do with your team's not ready to play. Now, part of that is, and I think a big part of it is, when you start to go down the Oilers lineup, and their bottom 2 lines are giving them absolutely nothing. Like when I say nothing, I'm talking nothing. And then you have Corey Perry and Connor Brown playing in the top 6, trying to find their way. Evander Kane is down on the 4th line, giving them nothing. So who's going to generate energy for you? We know McDavid and Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, they're going to get in there and they're going to play and they're going to give you everything they got. But they are slipping more and more and more to more players not giving them anything. Like the bottom 2 lines on Saturday night were pathetic. Now, when I say everybody played below their capabilities, the bottom 2 lines were pathetic. And then, Corey Perry's going to try, Connor Brown's going to try. They have just too many gaps right now of non-performing players. So what's Chris Knobloch going to do? The last 4 minutes of the game, he's got to play the same 6 players. He doesn't have anybody else. He's only got 6 players. And now you're running out of gas. So to start the game and to start to establish, you need some energy. You need some pop. You need some oomph. They haven't got that. No physicality, no skating, no jump. And I'm not expecting Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid to lead the way with respect to providing energy. But when you're getting none from too many players, that's going to be a big, big reason why you start out so poorly.
And Craig, we've talked about Knobloch usually making these, and it's funny that, Kapanen was the odd man out that night. We go back to the decision when he was included in the lineup, and we were all walking around here.
What's he doing? Why is he putting Kapanen in?
Chuckling a bit, but it proved good for the while that he was in. But, as you mentioned, what are his options right now? And I look at a guy, too, like a series screaming out for. And I know you mentioned him, Evander Kane. I thought when Kane, before Hyman's injury, their numbers were night and day as to win now since Hyman's been gone for Kane. But where does Knoblauch go now? We've always said he's had that Midas positive touch with this team. But where do you think he goes then for Tuesday in terms of what he's got to work with? And I'll also parlay this into another change that he made, which was Pickard in net. I mean, we're all thinking around here it's probably Skinner. Your thoughts on that as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I mean, Chris has had a magic touch, and
he's done well.
You know, we were all surprised. I think like everybody surprised that Kapanen wasn't in the lineup, and you know, even the explanation, well, we wanted some fresh legs. Kapanen played 8 minutes in game 4. It's not like he played 28 minutes and was taxed blocking shots and penalty killing, and the game went into double overtime. So, like, I was surprised by that. When it comes to the lineup, what we're seeing is no different than what Chris Knoblauch and the coaching staff is seeing. So when you're looking down your bench and you're figuring out what do I do, who do I put out there? I mean, he's in hope mode now that somebody can go out there and give him a good shift. That's how it was Saturday night, and that again speaks to a roster right now that far too many players are giving far too little. So right now, Eric, and it might be just a silly response, but it's almost like he's just got to appeal to empty the tanks, guys. We need everybody to try to max out here on Tuesday night.
Yeah,
I would start Pickard. I'll tell you why.
You would start Pickard.
Well,
okay,
I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear it though. Yeah,
I'll tell you why I would start Pickard. Like, you had Skinner out, Pickard in, they win. Pickard in. So, like, you want to just keep jumping your lineup, like in, out. Pickard was fine on Saturday night. He wasn't the reason. He was no problem there. And again, Ekholm playing the right side. I mean, the minute he played him on the right side, well, what is going on here? Ekholm never plays the right side. Sure enough, what ends up happening a few minutes later, Marchand beats him like a rented mule. And Matthias Ekholm's a pillar for this team. So you put him in a bad situation. You take Kapanen out. You don't have any players. I think he needs to get back to a semblance of rhythm and order. And now making another goaltending change, like, okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? Like, I would go with Pickard just to keep some continuity in my lineup and try to keep some familiarity. It's here, it's there, it's back, it's forth, and I think that's a problem right now for the Edmonton Oilers. And
Craig Button with us on. Go ahead, Craig.
Sorry, just quickly. No. And when you got to expend so much energy in coming back like they had to in game 4, that saps your energy too. And with one day in between games, you know, like Klingberg, I thought Klingberg should have been back in the lineup on Saturday night. You know, Troy Stetcher can't play right now in this series. He can't play. He's a liability. He steps out on the ice. The minute his skates hit the ice right now, he's a liability. Get him out of there. It's not fair to Stetcher. It's not fair to the team.
Craig Button with us on the show this morning, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. I said in the 6 o'clock hour of the show today, I said, I can't believe this is a sentence, but I'm going to read that same sentence again. How do you slow down 37-year-old Brad Marchand? Like, what are you supposed to do with this guy right now?
You know, it's interesting, Dustin, when you say, how do you slow down? So when you have too many players that are not engaged mentally and physically, like, think about the 2 goals he scored. He jumped the face-off.
Yeah.
Like, not only did he jump his winger, he jumped the defenseman. One was from 180 feet. The other one was from center ice. Like, to me, like, if I'm Chris Knoblauch, I'm taking this up and I'm going, wait a second here. We have an offensive zone face-off. The puck ends up in our net. We have a center ice face-off and the puck ends up on our net. And I would just circle the guys that weren't ready to engage. Like, if you're not ready to go mano a mano with Brad Marchand in terms of effort and determination and readiness, he's gonna beat you like he did. So you ask me how you stop him? Like, you got to be ready to go right there with him. Brad's 100% in. Every point you're below 100% is going to give him an advantage. So I'm Chris Knoblauch. I'm showing everybody, like, this is how he has success. We're helping him because we're not engaged with him. Like, it was like those 2 goals, as great as they were by Marchand.
Yeah.
Like, it was a pathetic display of readiness by the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh boy, do you think they bring it back home?
I felt before Game 5, Dustin, that there would be a Game 7.
Yeah.
And the series has gone back and forth. We've seen the ebbs, we've seen the flows, we've seen the swing. There is no way that the Edmonton Oilers are going to have a bad game on Tuesday night. There's just no way. I'm not changing my thought that I think there'll be a Game 7. I think the Oilers have a really good game in them, and that's all they need right now for Game 6. And then we'll see what happens for Game 7. But I will say this. There will be no Game 7 unless they get a market improvement from a number of their players. And I'm not talking about 93, 97, 29, 90, 28. I'm talking about the rest of the group that right now you better buck up and deliver here in terms of whatever you give. Because if they don't, there will be no Game 7.
As always, man, you bring the heat. We love it. And thanks for stepping in on a Monday, man. We appreciate it. Keep that hat on.
No problem.
Okay.
EST. EST. EST.
There you go. That's Greg Button chanting EST to wrap his segment today.
Look on him. That's
that's a nice looking hat.
Yeah.
That trucker hat is good. That's the same hat that those police officers came by to purchase.
Yep.
Was that on Wednesday? Did you guys talk about that Thursday on the air? Those two cops?
No.
Were you here for that?
Well, I saw the guy the day before.
Yeah, you were here for that.
And I said, hey, come by and,
So on Wednesday, that was Wednesday, right? Yeah, it was Wednesday. Between shows on Wednesday, I'm going out into the hallway, and there's just, it ties into that EST hat that Button's wearing. I go out into the hallway, and there's two police officers standing in the hallway. And I kind of walk out, and I was going to head out to my truck, and I see them. They're coming back from like down at the tattoo place. And I said, oh, hey, guys. I said, is there anything I can help you with? And these bastards, they go, yeah, we're here to execute a warrant, an outstanding warrant. And I instantly thought, well, it's not for me. I know that. And then I thought, well, which one of the guys is it? And I started to panic. And then they laughed and they're like, just kidding, Dusty. We're just here to buy some hats. We're big fans. I'm just like, you got me. You cops.
One of the perks of being a cop,
I said, put your hands up, coppers.
Stick them up.
Put your hands up, coppers. Like it was, but they were great dudes. They hung out for like half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
We took pictures with them.
Couldn't get them out of here.
Yeah. I was like, they stuck around for a little while. They were here. I left to get gas in my truck. I came back. They were still here. Oh, it was, they were really nice guys, big fans of the show. And they bought the same hat as Button there. So it's nice to know that we got the popo on our side.
But how often can they throw out that line? Like with anybody or anything, you go anywhere. Like what a play!
Joke all the time as a cop.
Yeah, it's an ace up your sleeve the whole time. And having the cars outside of the
they had two black and whites.
People are showing up like, oh, what's going on?
They had two black and whites. So Tammy came by at the time.
A pair of orcas.
And the two Edmonton Elks players came in.
Yeah.
Nick Anderson and Mitchie, and they're like, everyone's like, what is going on at this place? Tammy came in and was like, what? Why are there cop cars?
They should have had you in cuffs just for effect.
That would have been hilarious. That would have been a hilarious thing to do. I should have told him in the hallway. I said, cuff me and take me back into the office.
Tammy, my husband.
But so they come in, they're looking to buy hats. So I went and dug up Maddie's big box of hats and brought them out. And I asked the guy, I said, are you the Orca driver? Right, because there's the guy
the day before,
who texts in as the Orca driver, but that's a different police officer.
He found that pretty clever, though. Like when we figured out what that actually, that's a pretty good play on words.
Let's just take, I got a couple notes that I want to get to from what Button said, but let's just take away from that for a second. Just for 1 second. If the cops were here to arrest one of our staff, who is it and why? Hey? Who is it and why?
Matt Iwanek, tax evasion.
Oh, I like that one.
Like it's some sort of white collar
I like
crime.
That one.
Yeah.
Reed Wilkins
go down the whole.
Reed Wilkins insurance fraud, faking an eye injury.
Yeah,
something along those lines. Something that Glue Guy did back in his furniture business. Something like that.
But it's easy to go with, you killed a man. I like the white collar 20-year scam.
Yeah.
Like Matt, that's not even his real name. Like we thought we knew a guy, right? It's like
I'm here to arrest Steve. Well, that's okay. Yeah. There's no Steve here.
Randy Gutierrez.
Iwanek steps out of the hangout and goes, "I'm Steve." What? Mind blown.
Cayman Islands accounts.
Mind blown. Yeah. That would have been. That would have been something else, eh? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Who on the staff was about to be arrested and why? Also, shout out to those guys for coming by. And we very much thank you for buying the hats and supporting EST. They were good police officers. Yeah? It was I hope nobody was being robbed at the same time. And that wouldn't be a great look, but they were probably on a break. So
it's a big force.
By.
It's a big force.
Huge force.
Yeah, I mean,
huge force.
Those are the guys.
KR says they were in to arrest Tommy for those shorts. Ooh, what about this? Lieutenant Eric's rock stealing. Right? Those are private property, public property rocks or something like that.
We also have peace officers that listen. I met one in the River Valley once.
Did
so
you?
I feel like I'm kind of off the...
So we're pretty safe
off the hook.
Yeah, we're pretty safe. I think
that.
that's good. Haji texts in today.
Yeah.
I want to get to this one. I want to get to this one. This is a great comment. This is a nice conversation piece leading into the fan zone as well. I think our show's more been just a straight up reality check.
You got to call what's happening.
I mean, we kind of have to call. What are they?
Not going to blow sunshine and rainbows up your.
You know what they say when you're doing a card trick? You got to call a spade a spade.
Yes. Yeah.
Haji's in and says, I tune into EST for the positive takes, but frankly, the negativity is just sad this morning. I hope they pump this show into practice this morning because the Oilers love people doubting them. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's okay. I think it's a fair take to doubt this team a bit right now. They've trailed for 200 minutes in this series. They've been outscored 7-0 in the first periods. Their only 2 wins had to be somewhat miraculous comebacks. They have not given people a lot of reason to believe outside of the fact that they play best when their backs are against the wall, and that's the path to victory now. So, Haji, I think it's more of a reality check this morning than a bunch of negative takes.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality check here is that the Florida Panthers forward group has been significantly better, and they've got a Hall of Famer between the pipes. That's going to have to change if the Edmonton Oilers are going to pull this one out of the fire, which they might be able to do. But doing that against Florida, we said so many times this year, they're playing with fire, they're playing with fire, and every time they've gotten away with it. I'm not sure being down 3-2, they can get away with it against this Florida team. McDavid and Draisaitl can be all world. They haven't necessarily been so far in the series. Maybe they can get some depth scoring that we saw earlier in the playoffs, and some of those guys can step up. But reality here is that Florida has controlled most of this series, has a 3-2 lead, and is going home. It's not an overly negative take. That's us not being blindly positive.
Yeah,
I would think
it's an honest assessment of what's been going on.
But I get what you're saying, Haji. But I don't know. I don't think we're like overly beating them down today. We're just sitting here and facing the facts that they haven't been able to play with this Florida team, especially out of the gate, which has been extremely concerning.
But you can also have those thoughts and say all those things, but still feel positive about tomorrow. Why not?
Well, they've responded well to adversity, so here you go.
And Will brings it up too a lot, and he loves how Trev goes the ups and the downs, and that's how you should as a passionate fan. But you got to enjoy the ride, baby. They haven't lost it yet. You can still be positive, but you can still also, and we had the W word, whine this morning. You can do it. You can do both. You can complain, you can bitch, but you can also be positive about the tomorrow. It's 3-2.
Hey, nobody wins a Stanley Cup in 5 games unless you win 4-1. But they're not going to win this one in 5 games.
It would be a gentleman's series win as well, letting the Panthers get all the way to 3 games and then coming back to win it.
CB Radio Guy says, Dusty, let me ask you, do you think they lose Game 6?
Well,
see, even if I
could win it and they could lose it. There's two options. They're not going to tie.
I thought they would win Game 5, and they did. Like I said it last week. I thought they were going to crush them in Game 5.
Well, going home,
I thought they were going to be flying out of the gate. I thought they were going to win Game 5 6-0, 6-1. So I was extremely over the top positive going into Game 5. I'm nervous for the team going into Game 6. And even if they win Game 6, I think all of us would say, that's it. It's coming home. Game 7. They're not going to lose here in Game 7, which I would probably support that take. But I said the same thing about Game 5. So, I mean, if they play the way they have so far in this series, I think they'll probably lose Game 6. If they can find a better gear, then they're capable of beating anybody. But I'm not sure Florida allows them to do that. Like, that's the thing. As much as we want to hang this on the Oilers, and like I said, I was thinking about it when we were talking with Button. We're like, oh, it's capping it in or it's capping it out. That's part of the issue in this series right now. Kapanen's a bloody waiver claim.
It's not the
and
answer.
we're sitting here acting like he's Zach freaking Hyman.
Yeah.
You know, like that's part of the issue. Florida's just like, here's our four lines again.
But we were also talking about Kapanen. Wow, what a steal off the waivers. And look at him. He's Pisani-esque.
Yeah. I mean,
we weren't talking about
said Pisani.
Hey, the hair was flying around. He was hitting everything that moved. He was buzzing.
He should definitely play Game
But in
6.
this series, this is a cut above. And I think we knew this going in. People didn't want to say it too loudly and speak it into existence.
It's impossible to know what this team does. Like, it's impossible to get a read on this team outside of they play really bad or they play really well when their backs are against the wall. And if that's the case, they should win Game 6. Like, the one thing we know about the Oilers is that when people doubt them, they find a way. Well, I think people are probably fairly doubting them right now. So it's time to find a way. And we're just getting into the fan zone. So let's just keep this conversation going. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Elizabeth W. over in the chat says, last year we lost the first 3 games. How quickly fans forget.
Well,
it's 3-2, not 3-0. I mean, that's a great fact as well. There are lots of reasons to expect the Oilers to have a great bounce-back game in Game 6. Like Button just said, he thinks it's going 7. I just worry that if you're going to have to take back-to-back games against Florida, will Florida allow that to happen?
That's the thing now, too. You have to win 2 in a row against the Florida Panthers. Yeah.
All right, let's get into your early bird bet of the day today for our partners and our title sponsor at Edmonton Sports Talk over at Play Alberta. Going to the NBA tonight. Back heavy on the Oilers game tomorrow. The Indiana Pacers are 9.5-point underdogs. 9.5-point dogs in OKC tonight. They're just expecting a blowout. And the Pacers have kept this thing extremely close. Almost are up 3-1. So I'm going to get on the Pacers plus 9.5 points. And I'm moving Siakam from 20-plus points down to 18-plus points. So Pacers plus 9.5, Siakam 18-plus points. I believe in some of the NBA circles, they refer to him as Spicy P.
Yes.
Or at least they did when he's in Toronto. Is he still a Spicy P boy?
That was more of a 6 thing.
Yeah. Anyway, Pacers plus 9.5, Siakam 18-plus points, plus 204.
Pacers are road.
Oh, you know what?
Warriors.
Why not? Why not?
Another word you could probably.
You know who else is going to be a road dog tomorrow too?
This postseason.
Road dog tomorrow. Mighty Oil.
Oh, you didn't know?
It's a Stanley Cup final.
You better call somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight, D-Generation X proudly brings to you its 6-time WWE Tag Team Champions of the World.
It's Road Dog, Indiana Pacers.
The badass Billy Gunn, the new Age Outlaws.
I love when he does that.
Hey, why not? You got to love a little Road Dog. Maybe it's a sign of things to come for Game 6 in the Oilers series as well. Changing 200.
Changing 200.
All right, if you're watching over on YouTube today, I haven't asked for that much, but hammer the thumbs up for us. We would very much appreciate that. We got Rishaug in just over an hour. The fan zone is coming up next. What was my question? Where does Knobloch go from here? You're Chris Knobloch right now. Who's in? Who's out? What line are you starting? If you're looking for energy, what do you do? You're Chris Knobloch today. Play the role of Knobloch. Most of us do anyway all the time. Play the role of Knobloch. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. That is your early bird bet of the day for our partners over at Play Alberta. Make sure you use your Game Sense. And if you've not yet downloaded the Play Alberta app, we are telling you to do so because they're going to be our partners for a long, long time. Get used to that app, and you'll find our EST specials page right there, both at playalberta.ca and over on the app as well. Early bird bet of the day. Pacers plus 9.5. Siakam 18+ points. You can join me tonight at Mr. Mike's for our NBA final watch party. We're not there yet.
Okay.
It was a joke.
Well, I'm listening.
I remember when the Raptors, I hosted one watch party.
Palooza for the NBA final.
Some along.
All night long.
All right, let's get to the sports update for Park Mazda. The fan zone is on the way, and that's a good. We'll get to that coming up around 7:50ish this morning. Rishaug in less than an hour. His thoughts on Game 5 and where do they go from here? That's what we're looking for from you right now. 780-218-9999. Let's get to the update.
Stanley Cup final will continue tomorrow from sunrise. The Oilers trailing the Panthers 3-2. Leon Draisaitl earlier this morning, one of the 6 named to Team Germany for the upcoming Olympics as well. Game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight from Oklahoma City. Thunder and Pacers locked at 2. Tip-off 6:30. Jays swept over the weekend by the Phillies following yesterday's 11-4 defeat. They're back home to host the Diamondbacks for a 3-game set starting tomorrow. Red Sox, meanwhile, dealing Rafael Devers to the Giants last night for a pair of pitchers and prospects. Riverhawks, they fall to 7-5 following a 12-6 loss out in Kamloops. Hawks are back home to kick off a 6-game homestand. That starts tomorrow night against Bellingham. The Energy City Cactus Rats, meanwhile, they lose 8-3 to the Okotoks Dogs. Cactus Rats will visit Saskatchewan this week for a pair against the Weyburn Beavers beginning tomorrow. J.J. Spawn, he would outlast the field to capture a sloppy U.S. Open, finishing at 1-under in a 2-stroke victory over Robert McIntyre. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he believes in these guys.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Daddy. Okay, here we go. Daddy. Daddy. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Turn down for what? Daddy likes. Turn down for what? Daddy likes. Turn down for what?
Okay, here we go. Daddy. Daddy. Okay.
Daddy likes.
I don't give a damn. Daddy likes. Daddy.
Draisaitl, the Duck Hunter.
Daddy likes.
7:35 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. I made a note in my show notes here to read a text. Lots of good text messages for the fan zone guys and gals. We'll get to those as we work our way through the show today. Where is Horse Eyes, though? Here we are. Horse Eyes. Oh, yeah, this is a pretty good one. I want to do this right. This could be a text of the day today for A&W. You can text us in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Check them out, parisjewelers.com. Buy now, do not pay for a year. And yeah, one of your text messages win a text to A&W, gift certificate to A&W. It looks like this time JJ was able to respawn. That's good. That's good stuff right there. I like that. Trev, you not like that? Is that too cheesy for you, YouTube, Trev?
That was okay.
I think that's a good one.
Time to respawn.
Spawn, right? JJ Spawn.
I get it.
Respawn. You get it? Okay, yeah. I thought it was funny.
He's reaching there.
Could be a text of the day. We'll have to see. There's some good ones that have trickled in so far today. 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, let's hammer that thumbs up for us. The Oilers are down, but they're not out of it just yet. What would you do with the lineup? We're going to get into that for the fan zone. That's good is on the way as well. And just after 8 o'clock, we'll have kind of easy trivia. We'll have 3 questions too many. Ryan Rashad is going to join us from the Got Your Back podcast. And, of course, TSN around 8:30. And then the wrap for William Huff today.
13-5, hey? Maybe that's an option? I mean,
no, not an option.
No? Okay.
Not an option.
13-4.5, I guess, if that comes status. But
Nielson Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. And Edmonton Sports Talk, of course, title sponsor over at Play Alberta. If you haven't signed up for an account yet today, please do. And whether you have signed up for an account or you are already a current user, use our code EST Sports, all caps, EST Sports, all caps, and deposit $20 and you will get a $50 free bet. All right, here we go. Fan Zone. Let's do it for fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees. We were talking with Trev earlier. He and his dad and his brother, they used Fans First for Game 5, saved $1,400 for 3 tickets to Game 5. Trev, that's got to make it, and you can throw up the Fans First thing here. That has to make you feel even better. Like when you're spending that much money to save $1,400 at Fans First, it's got to make you feel a little bit better, right? You could have brought another friend and put him in the nosebleeds.
I know, like looking at it that way, how much money we did save. It's nice for sure, and
still a ridiculous amount of money to spend.
It is a lot. That's why. That's why I just feel so bad. Like, yeah, but it was my dad's treat, and he was very, I don't know, he was very happy to do this. He wanted to do this. Yeah, I know. And he's like, here it is. Here's all the info. Pay for the tickets.
Happy Father's Day to you.
I looked for like 10 seconds. I'm like, oh gosh, I can't handle this. So my brother had to deal with all the, I guess, purchasing of the tickets because it was too much for me to look at some of these prices. I'm like, oh God. So that was, yeah, we looked at Fans First, and there we go. Saved quite a bit, which is awesome. And he was very happy about that. So yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time, and it all started at fansfirst.ca. That brings us into the fan zone. Where does Knobloch go from here? Your Knobloch, what do you do with this lineup for Game 6? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Tom Dixon's mustache is in today and says, this team tries to outskate their opponents to win. Florida is not allowing them to gain any speed in the neutral zone. I disagree with Button. The fourth line is the only line that creates because they tenaciously forecheck. I would put Kane and Podkolzin with 97 and say throw caution to the wind. But if it moves, you hit it. That is what this team misses about Zach Hyman. 780-218-9999. Let's go. Colin the Amishman is in. Hashtag the fan zone. I couldn't understand why they looked so gassed, but I wonder if they emptied the tank more than the Panthers in Game 4 and had nothing to give with the short turnaround. I expect a much better effort with more rest between games. Hashtag oil and 7. Interesting, right? Quick turnaround for both teams, but
your boy Barron, is that Derek Ryan's entrance music I hear?
Probably not.
I don't know if that's the
probably not
the Road Dog.
Pauly Deuce is in. I actually had trouble sleeping the last 2 nights because of Game 5. Our kids can't grow up in a world where Kachuk has 2 cups and McDavid and Draisaitl have none. Connor will get his cup. And Connor and Leon will get a Stanley Cup for this team. If it's not this year, it'll be another year over the next 2 or 3. I believe that. I mean, I just... Florida's really good.
VR Montenegro says intangibles in the nasty chat. In relation, I'm sure, to the Derek Ryan text, to which VR is a big fan.
Of Derek Ryan. Oh, yeah, the intangibles, yeah.
Week of Destiny is the only thing that could save the Oilers now.
Oh, it'll be on tomorrow, man. It'll be. I'm sorry, everybody. My other career has taken me away from some important shows. It does. I absolutely love doing play-by-play for the Canadian Football League.
Could have brought the wig with you and worn it.
Well, I guess I could have worn it and popped it. Oh, yeah.
But like,
the beard's going over really well.
Not when the camera's on you either. Just during the play-by-play.
Just during the play-by-play.
Have
Sorry,
it on
Suits.
for a drive or so.
Sorry, Suits. I got to put this back on right now.
You know what the hell are you?
But I do. It absolutely just destroys me to be away on game days and after game days when the games are this big. So shout out to JMO and Phrase for stepping in, and two very lovable guys.
And
from
you can't
our
fault
past.
Phrase for not wearing it because his hair is just immaculate.
It's immaculate, or itself is a wig. One or the other. You're telling me that guy hasn't been to Wig Factory? Please. Luke in Cowtown says, I think the worst thing about Game 5 is it looked a lot like the Leafs Game 5, losing to these same Panthers. The effort was awful, and no one wanted to lose to Luke the Leafs. That's got to be a autocorrect.
So a true momentum shifter, I guess, is what he's saying.
I pointed it out on Saturday. I can't remember who I was talking to. But anyway, I said the Leafs are costing the Oilers a Stanley Cup. If the Leafs could have just finished off the Panthers, the Edmonton Oilers would probably already be Stanley Cup champions.
Timing in sports is a funny thing. Things get in your way.
Right?
And right now the Panthers are in the Oilers' way.
The Leafs had a really good chance to finish off the Panthers. And if Trev's just hating hearing this.
Well, what other team
but
in
it's
the West?
kind of reality.
There's no other team in the West and the East that you would fear in that whole cup run, right? Of the whole tournament.
No.
There's just the one.
If the Leafs would have knocked off the Panthers, the Edmonton Oilers would already be Stanley Cup champs.
The wild card Panthers.
I'll die on that hill. All right, 780-218-9999, 780. The Wig of Destiny will be placed on my melon probably in the third hour of the show tomorrow. That's what we usually do, isn't it?
For the whole show.
Whole show.
Tales of the North.
Show.
Tales of the North.
No,
but
no, this is changing. No, this is changing.
Okay, that's a good point.
The Wig of Destiny has gone on at like 8 o'clock on game days.
Do you not think maybe it's time for a bit of a change?
I mean, if I had put the Wig of... I don't know if they... I don't know.
Risky?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Shanked One says, also in the first period, an Oiler had a chance to lay a good lick on Brad Marchand, and we did a flyby. Why did we not hit right now? Basically at all.
Well, only with the sticks. If you could keep sticks down and use a little bit more of the body, that might go a long way.
Chris in Alabama.
Yeah. Good day, mate.
Roll the Tide. The Panthers PK keeps a guy roaming up high, keeping us from holding the puck more than a second to set up a play. We just need to send pucks on net to keep heat on the goalie. One will go in. Go Oilers. Chris from Alabama.
Maybe he's an Auburn fan.
You can't do that, can you?
Well,
you can't live in the state of Alabama and cheer for another organization
team from Alabama.
I guess you could.
It depends where in Alabama are you?
What's the line here? What's
to the bottom of this
line?
because
how do we go
if you're
about this?
Tuscaloosa, I understand, but I mean, I'm getting to the bottom of this.
Are you going to get to the bottom of it? Good.
We're
That's
in
good.
the States.
Let us know exactly where you are and which team do you cheer for, and are you indeed rolling the Tide? Colton says that may have been the most disappointing game. Oh, this just hurts. This just hurts me. I'm going to read it.
Is it negative? You can't.
No, it's just sad.
Oh, okay.
It's just a sad text from Colton because this is how many of you probably feel, and I feel for many of you today. Colton says that may have been the most disappointing game I've ever watched with this team. I figured lessons were learned, but they haven't been. I'm curious.
Well,
how many of you are just at the stage of dealing with things in this series of Florida's just a better team? Like, how many of you have come to terms with that?
But I still don't. But I'm still not counting them out.
You're still saying the Oilers could win.
You can.
Yeah.
There are in the history of sports, there are teams that have beaten teams that are better than them. But yes, this is something totally different than the Kings, the Golden Knights, and
Panthers are a different beast.
Yes.
I mean, they're a different beast than the opposition that they've faced.
And sometimes I know this is a market where we all look inward, and it's never the other team that, God forbid, that they could be maybe perhaps better than the two best players on the planet. But yes, when you're talking a full team makeup, we discussed earlier with the depth, that just could be the case here. And I know a couple of people texted in this morning as well saying, maybe Bob has now found his game. I don't know how much you read in or rank that in terms of importance.
I think
series,
he's usually just a consistently good goaltender.
And I don't think it's taken him time to find that.
Miles from St. Albert on a transit bus. We met his wife last week.
Correct.
Did she not come by? And I said, is he actually on a transit bus? And she goes, he is.
Yeah, he lives up to the moniker. Yeah.
Anyway, Miles from St. Albert on a transit bus says, you want to be the best? You got to beat the best. Hashtag fanzone.
Chris in Alabama, watch your mouth. Roll Tide. Only the far eastern losers in Alabama are Tiger fans. 97% of our great state roll the Tide. I bleed crimson. And
that's what I'm talking about.
Orange blue, which is also the colors of Auburn, but coincidentally the Oilers as well.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, wait, is this guy cheering for both Auburn and Alabama? Somebody else in chat says Auburn is, where is it here? There's a guy who was texting in earlier who's down in Florida. He must really know the geography and layout of the United States very well. Auburn is in eastern Alabama, close to Georgia. I don't know. I'm not good at states. Like if you put the entire United States up and like they were all blank and you're like, what's this one? I could probably get about 80% of them, but I don't think I could go 100%.
I could get like the Western Frontier where they're like really big, but then you go into the East where they're like, they get really small.
Sometimes there's states I'm like, wait a second.
Very complicated.
That's on the ocean? Well, I didn't know that.
Oceanfront property.
In California.
Right? Is it George Strait?
Yeah, but it wasn't oceanfront property. Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, tons.
That's George Strait.
Georgia.
He's a handsome man.
Yeah.
Grumpy Cat texts in and says, so am I off my rocker? One cannot blame the refs, but it feels like the Oilers try to play hockey and the Panthers just get in the way. If we start holding sticks and getting in the way, it feels like we get called for it. Yes, I'm wearing my Oilers prescribed glasses, but there seems to be some truth to it? ? I don't think the Oilers are down in this series because of officiating. Let me be clear. I don't want to
keep the sticks
come across
down,
as some huge.
Got to keep the sticks down.
And they got to be better with their sticks.
Yeah.
Florida does play the dark arts, man. Oilers have been,
and they do it really well.
And Grumpy, you're not off your rocker. But I don't think this is a series where you're just like the only reason they're down. And that's not what he's saying. But I don't want us to come across as like,
well, no. But
guys
I think we're.
Now, I'll rip officials regardless of the sport because I think most of the time they frustrate me. But
when that theme gets baked into a series, you then have one team psychologically second guessing sometimes some of their play, right? When they know that their dark arts are going to get called, and the other team they're more free to go about it. Where the Oilers are kind of, I think maybe that's also. Not necessarily the calls as they stand, but the way the series is shaped and the way the Oilers kind of act and address that. Rip City Step. Best way to eat an elephant?
One bite at a time. Exactly. And in this conversation, the Florida Panthers would be the elephant.
Yes.
And the Edmonton Oilers would be eating it one bite at a time. Nom, 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 nom,
Pink
nom,
Elephant
nom.
Club, if you will.
They're the Pink Elephant Club. One-Eye Pete says, I have to echo something that was said earlier. They just looked gassed on Saturday night. They had no jump.
Why do the Panthers not look gassed?
Well, and that's
because they've been at this now. The Oilers, yes, they had that long run last year. The Panthers did, but the year before.
The Oilers are an older team.
I know, but I see you there, but I'm not buying that one either. Like come on, you got to at this point. And if that is all the gas, like if they're running on E, I mean, okay, so be it. But I don't know.
55 likes away from changing 300. So if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us, and please sub to our channel if you haven't already. If you're like, guys, I can't watch on YouTube all day, well then, boy, do we have you covered, because you can listen on TuneIn, on the TuneIn radio app, on the iHeartRadio app, and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And we're live today. We'll be live all the way up until 6 o'clock tonight, getting you ready for Game 6 tomorrow.
How do you eat an elephant with honey and dill sauce? VR Montenegro says.
Man.
You could, I mean, you'd do more than one bite at a time in that case. Like,
Yeah, what did Fraze think when I said all I had to eat in Winnipeg was chicken tendies?
Well, he was mostly giving credit to the server because she knew the game. She knew the sport, right? Like
She gets it. When she told me you can get a children's chicken fingers with your chicken tendies, which is only $3, I was like,
I still love you getting the children's spiced rum in the kitty cup with the straw.
if you order the kids chicken tendies, you do get spiced rum in a sippy cup.
It's fun. Yeah.
Those tendies are so good, and I'm not there again until next week.
I can't believe you didn't get a chance to bump into Huss. I thought at least you'd have like a 10-minute goal
I was thinking of maybe seeing Huss on the Thursday night after the game. I texted him around midnight. I was just about to get it on my tendies.
Andrew Patterson.
Yeah, I was like, Huss, have you woken up yet? I think he was out somewhere else because I was originally supposed to leave really early.
Grocery shopping at the Sev.
Flight got delayed, so it was just like, yeah, I should have just gone to Sev, walk in. Huss is sitting there with a salad. Hey, Huss, what's up? Huss will be in the Lock Shop today from 11 to 12 right here. Lock Shop, of course, brought to you by our partners at Play Alberta, as is all of Edmonton Sports Talk. All right, let's get into That's Good.
And quickly for the fan zone before we end, Ryan from SK's text from earlier.
Oh, that's in there.
The fan zone, like the state tax.
We've hit that was a good one too.
That
yeah. Who do I have for contender so far for text of the day here? I try to make notes. Usually can't read them. Ryan SK, Horse Eyes, and I think Haji from earlier.
He had the "Don't be so negative," or did he have something else?
There was something else. Haji's been hitting that inbox pretty good today.
Haji,
Haji trying to get a little A&W gift certificate here as well. Let's get into That's Good for the Italian Center. Get your Prince of Pie while they last. Pepperoni. It's a pepperoni pizza, but it's been labeled as the Pepperoni Prince of Pie. And $2 from every one of them goes to Sports Central. And if you've not yet checked out an Italian Center, first of all, I don't believe that you wouldn't have. You probably have checked out many of their locations. But if you haven't, check out the Italian Center and go to town on a panino and pick up a Prince of Pie for dinner tonight for your family. They're ready in like 12 minutes. It's ridiculously quick, and it's ridiculously delicious. Gotta talk some CFL here, okay?
If we must,
well,
I'll join you. But I mean,
if we must. So this weekend, I called 2 football games. I was in Winnipeg on Thursday, and then I was in Hamilton. First time I ever called a regular season game for TSN in the Hammer.
The Hammer, Steel Town.
I try not to call it the Hammer all the time, but
why not?
I mean, they have a huge hammer in there.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, so
Did you go to the Hall of Fame?
I saw Suits' picture on that Hall of Fame wall.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have some tickets to the Elks game here as well. Hey, we're gonna give those away. I give away a little trivia today. We're gonna give away a little trivia, CFL trivia. Get ready. We're gonna give you a chance to win some tickets there. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move that. We're gonna do that just after 3 questions too many because we've got a nice little window there. So let me put the Elks tickets over there before we go to Rishaug. So I did 2 games this weekend. In those 2 games, and I tweeted this last night, in just 2 games in the Canadian Football League over the weekend, I got to call a 64-yard pick six by Roland Milligan, the longest rush of A.J. Ouellette's career, which was a 47-yard touchdown, which featured a mini stiff arm at the end of it to get the job done.
How about Kadeem Carey, too? Just a side note on that. I mean, he's that's
3 touches, 30 yards.
That's a thunder lightning duo that I can get behind.
That's a nice little 1-2 punch. Right? 1-2. The first TD of Matthew Peterson's career, which was a 37-yard run after this kid has a chance to play in the league. And you're going in and saying, I'm going to be behind Brady Oliveira. Probably won't get many touches, but I can learn from this guy. Brady Oliveira, upper body injury, has to leave. Peterson comes in, goes off for over 100 yards. They kept feeding him the ball. He had his first ever career touchdown, U of A Golden Bear, former William Huff employee, 37-yard touchdown. I called a 77-yard touchdown catch for Keon Hatcher and then a ridiculous Kenny Lawler catch, a ridiculous Dante Myers catch, and Brett Lothar missing 3 field goals and an extra point.
Well, he missed a long one, which was
Two
way
long
too
ones.
long. The first one, and then the extra
50 and 51.
They got that 2-point back. So but yeah, he not an easy night.
Yeah. But in 2 games, 64-yard pick six, 47-yard touchdown run, 37-yard touchdown run for the first time in the guy's career. The 77-yard TD catch from Keon Hatcher, I freaked out on because the Bombers had just scored, and the very next play, Nathan Rourke goes to Hatcher for a 77-yarder. And then a couple of top 10, top 15 catches of the year in 2 games. Like the entertainment level that the Canadian Football League provides from week to week is just insane. 2 games. I got to call all that stuff.
Your quarterbacks are kind of funny too, because you had Nathan Rourke, who, Canadian, tops of most people's lists, everything such as that. Bit of an injury.
Yeah.
Which fantasy circles, everybody's a blaze of light. Chris Strevler coming in.
Incredible story.
Who again, what rushing yards again? What was it? 2 attempts 9 days?
He had 2 carries for 9 yards.
Eric Strevler shows up. Yeah. 3 touchdowns. And then you cap it Saturday with 2 of the elder statesmen in the league, and Harris and Mitchell
combining for over 600 yards passing.
I think did that hit? That didn't hit the over, did it? That game? That game. I don't think it did.
It was 51 points.
Okay, so it was close. But for a long time there,
I think it did. I think the total was 50 and a half. I think it just covered.
Bit of a battle in between, but yeah, you're seeing 2 quarterbacks there ultimately, up against each other, and Bo looking for that 100 or whatever.
So Bo Levi Mitchell is 1 win away from becoming the fastest quarterback in league history to win 100 games that fast.
And he's got to go 0-6, I believe, to not achieve it. Is that kind of what
he now? The record is 149. This would have been 142. His next game is 143. Yeah. Unless the Ticats open up 0-7 or 0-8, he'll get it. So he's going to get it. And that Trevor Harris, Bo Levi Mitchell game that I called on Saturday, and people would be like, "Oh, I missed the days of these quarterbacks."
No, this is it. Yeah,
Bo Levi Mitchell's 11th all time in CFL passing yards, and Trevor Harris is 16th. That's 2 top 20 guys for passing yards in the history of the league.
Factor in Harris's completion percentage, which
it's 70s. He's top 3 all time in completion percentage as well, 70.3%, I think. So just none of these games went to overtime or a walk-off field goal.
Mm-hmm.
But to call 2 games and get to call all that stuff that I did is just. If you're not watching the Canadian Football League, you're missing out on some very entertaining sports from week to week. And this week, week 3, will get started with the Edmonton Elks at home. Home opener, coming off a bye week. They get a very good Montreal team.
It's good you get that bye week to prep for this.
Yeah.
That's we were talking about this week 2 bye and how it's kind of weird and situated and how you the hype and everything. But I think hosting a Montreal team that's looked as good as they have, probably best to have that bye week. And I don't think Edmonton. I know Jason Milne he had the knives, and that's fine. But again, that was a game, and I think everybody was anointing BC the Grey Cup favorites after that. Well, what did they look like? So I
think right now they would play the Grey Cup favorites over Montreal. This is a tremendous test.
I'm saying it's
tremendous
a great test, but Edmonton had a lot of turnover. It'll take some time for that to gel. It's just dependent on how quick the coaching staff can get them to that point. But still talent, and more so than in years past.
Their offense is going to have to find a way against a very good Montreal defense. Yeah. Very good Montreal defense. But we have a 4-pack of tickets to that game on Thursday night. We're going to give those away coming up around 8:20, courtesy of our partners over at the Edmonton Elks. So we're going to give those away for you as well. Be ready for those. Probably be around 8:20 today. So we've got those for you. Reed Wilkins show this afternoon. We'll have a VIP table for 4 to the Stingers game versus the Sea Bears on June 22nd. And those tickets will be courtesy our great partners over at Play Alberta. So lots of ways to win today here on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Nielson Show taking you up until 9 o'clock. The hangout today, Maddie, Tommy, Glue Guy. That'll lead into the lock shop with myself and Huss. Lots to recap from the weekend for myself and Huss. Oil Stream today should be an interesting show from noon until 1. EST afternoons. Can't wait to see how Hernan's handling things from 1 until 3 today. And then the Reed Wilkins show from 3 until 6. This is going to be a weird thing to say right now on the station. But my wife loves Reed Wilkins.
She's in love?
Yeah, well, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Be a weird twist.
Wouldn't that be something?
I once...
But you'd
I once
be down.
was in a relationship where a girl I was with started dating my roommate like 7 days after we stopped hooking up.
Look.
This would be different, though.
But when was that? This is 2025.
Yeah, I was like 25 when that happened. It wasn't strange to me, actually. But
I think your household will welcome Reed Wilkins in, or maybe you guys all move into Reed's house.
I mean, that would be fine.
Board games.
Marshall, yeah. I mean...
You'd all love it.
You know, I would say this.
I'll sleep in one big bed.
And I'll make this statement live on the show this morning.
Okay.
Let's clip this.
Clip it.
We'll have it. If I ever die, I would like Reed Wilkins to take my place in my family. Mark it down, boys.
Put it in the will.
801.
Yeah.
Surveyor Brett.
801. Surveyor Brett, put it in. Yeah, this is a good one. I like getting this text next year. Dusty, it was on June 16th when you mentioned that if you die, you want Reed Wilkins to take over your family.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good guy.
My kids like him, and my wife's a big fan. She said, what did she say to me? She said, I called her. It was weird that Reed was over, but I called her, and I called the game in Hamilton. Then we drove to Toronto. I got to Toronto. I had to check in. I said, how are you doing? Because she's a big Oilers fan. She was furious. I got home yesterday, and Elizabeth goes, hey, Daddy, I heard after Mommy put me to bed, I heard her yell, F off. At the game. I was like, what? So anyway, Tam was pretty she was pretty rattled, but she goes, you should watch the post-game show. Reed was just on. And he's like you, but not as fired up. I was just like, well, yeah, that's a good thing.
She's had to reel you in a few times.
Yeah. She's been somewhat disappointed in me a few times on those post-game shows.
That's a good word, disappointed.
So,
but, not proud.
But you know what? I'm proud of her because guess who got a job?
Oh, she got it.
She's going back teaching.
The interview?
She's going back teaching. She had an interview last week. She did this interview on last Wednesday, and she interviewed for a kindergarten and grade 1 position. Not at our kids' school, but a close school, very close to the house, which is good. And she finished the interview. She goes, they said they'll call me by Friday. I don't know how it went. They called her back like 2 hours later and gave her her choice. Like, you want kindergarten or grade 1? It's up to you. So she took the kindergarten job. And she's very excited to be getting back to work.
I don't want to give or take it too much off of her, but you did say when she came in to visit, before she left to the meeting, you said you're going to kill it.
I did say I did.
So
I mean, I don't want to take too much credit for her getting that job.
Should take.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's a family, right? It's that's
me,
the
Tammy,
building, the
Marshall,
building up.
Muzz, and Reed.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we need somebody to play Kind of Easy Trivia right now. That's good for Italian Center. If you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia right now, gift certificate to Mr. Mike's, where it's Platterpalooza all summer long. If you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia, text Trev right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and we will get to these. VR Montenegro. Marshall, Daddy, I'm hit. Both Dusty and Reed. My son.
There we go. There we go.
I love everything. Let's just continue to have a good day here, eh? All right. Let's get to, if you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia, text Trev right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let's get to a sports update for Windsor Plywood Leduc. We've got Kind of Easy Trivia. We got 3 questions too many. Let's do a little trivia for these Elks tickets. Hey, why not? And then Ryan Rashad from the Got Your Back podcast will be by around 8:30 today. Very fun third hour. Let's get sports update right now for Windsor Plywood Leduc.
European teams naming the first 6 players to their preliminary rosters for the 2026 Winter Olympics. No surprise, Germany electing to go with Leon Draisaitl as one of the first 6. The Stanley Cup Finals will continue tomorrow down in Sunrise with the Panthers sporting a 3-2 series lead. Game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight from OKC. Thunder and Pacers locked at 2, tip-off 6:30. Jays will be back home to host the Diamondbacks for a 3-game set beginning tomorrow as they were swept aside over the weekend by the Phillies following yesterday's 11-4 defeat. Elsewhere, the Red Sox dealing Rafael Devers to the Giants for a pair of pitchers and prospects last night. Sticking with baseball, the Riverhawks fall to 7-5 as they drop a 12-6 decision out in Kamloops, wrapping up a road trip. Hawks are back home to kick off a 6-game homestand tomorrow night against Bellingham. Energy City Cactus Rats, meanwhile, they fall to 5-9 with an 8-3 loss to Okotoks. Cactus Rats are Saskatchewan bound. They'll visit the Weyburn Beavers this week for a pair beginning tomorrow. JJ Spawn would outlast the field to capture the U.S. Open at Oakmount. A 2-stroke victory over Robert McIntyre, finishing at 1 under par. And some CFL news this morning as the Bombers have released veteran receiver Reggie White Jr. Week 3 will kick off Thursday right here in Edmonton as the Elks take on the 2-0 Alouettes. Sports Update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
He's just a forward named Matt who plays for the Flames, a punk or a coward, a few of his names. He likes shooting and scoring and hits in the back. And when you're not looking, that's when he'll attack. He runs with his gloves, they're glued on his hands. Now it's pretty clear he's hated by fans. But sometimes that just ain't enough to keep a rat like him interested. Oh no, no way. No, he's got to go out and take runs at someone else's expense. Oh yeah. Yeah. He makes dirty hits we don't want in the game, then covers up his head and hides in shame. He's a turtle. 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 He aims for your back and then leaves his feet, while George and the league are saying, hey, that's sure neat. He's a turtle. 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 He ducks and he runs to much safer spaces, while players with a sack are getting punched in their faces. He's a turtle. 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 Maybe we shouldn't be singing this song with Dowdy and Cassian singing along. Maybe he'll fight and prove us all wrong. Nah, he's a turtle. 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 He's a turtle.
8:09 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here. Edmonton Sports Talk presented to you by Play Alberta. Download the app today. What you play in Alberta stays in Alberta. And Play Alberta giving us that VIP table to the Stingers game that the boys will be giving away in the Reed Wilkins Show today. If you've not yet checked out the Reed Wilkins Show, it is amazing. Every day from 3 until 6 with Glue Guy riding shotgun. Glue Guy's in today. And I wonder if he's going to text us about milks and coffees and stuff, because he's on the hangout today.
Usually, yeah, he's been. That's another Friday that he wasn't required in the hangout. So he's back.
Wannick's really toying with him.
He's gonna
right
have
now.
a Monday attitude.
I know he was riding with me on the Connor McDavid anytime goal there in Game 5 on Play Alberta. So his account's a little more flush.
Look,
my account's probably the most flush it's been since I started up at Play Alberta right now.
Sure, but I wouldn't get too cozy in the lock shop seat, because when Jason Milne is with his Jays play of the day, like that guy, he's coming for your.
Hey, look, man,
he's coming for the crown.
If Glue Guy wants to take an hour of broadcasting off my plate every day, have at her, man.
He joins you and Huss like Reed joins your family. You can have a threesome.
You know, if I die, Glue Guy takes over the lock shop. I'm just laying it all out everywhere right now. All right, we got those Elks tickets that we're going to give away. We need one more question for 3 questions too many today from the great staff at Park Mazda. What's your question? 780-218-9999. Sports question, non-sports question, Oilers question, obviously. Our hearts are always open for CFL questions. So 780-218-9999. Send in your question. We're going to play kind of easy trivia coming up here right away. Boy, did I miss this. I think people probably missed this. You brought banging this out when I'm not here, eh?
No, it's a straight read. But I do play that bed as like return music.
Oh, Blue Bayou.
It's great.
Actually, you know what?
It
I'll
fits
tell you.
with a lot of stuff, man. I tell you.
I was watching TV at a hotel over the weekend. I can't remember where. And one of the channels on the TV, it must have been a movie or a show or something that said Blue Bayou. And I instantly was like, that's a song. That's a song. Did you see that over the weekend?
It was Man on Fire with Denzel Washington.
What do you mean?
The movie.
It's called Blue Bayou?
No, but they play Blue Bayou in that.
Do they?
In that movie. I
The
watched
exact
it as
same
well.
song?
Yeah, well, not Roy Orbison, but...
What? I'm so confused right now.
Did you watch Man on...
No, but I like Man on Fire.
It was on the weekend.
Isn't her
I
name
watched it.
PETA?
Yeah.
That dad was a real prick.
Yeah, well,
I hope he got nothing for Father's Day.
And the lawyer there, too. They were all in on it.
Yeah, it was a
Spoiler
real
alert.
scam.
Yeah.
And then Denzel sacrifices himself for
That
Dakota
baggy
Fanning.
clothing, hey?
Oh, yeah. He's
Oh,
a badass.
she was...
I always feel like, I guess he gets killed in Training Day, spoiler alert. But I like these universes where some characters can cross over.
Yes.
Like from movie to
The
movie, but they're not.
conspiracy
Yeah,
stuff.
that type of stuff.
I like that, too.
What was the one? There's a very popular conspiracy out there.
Well, isn't
about,
it? It's Carl Winslow, Die Hard.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That
Like
he's
he gets
actually,
so
yeah, that's a
messed
good one.
up that he gets relocated to Chicago, and there was something. I think
There was another one. I can't remember if it was Neo from The Matrix becomes John Wick or something.
I could see
something like that.
That's an easy cross.
Anyway, if you got any of those fun little conspiracy theories, share them with us. Right now, we got kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. Let's get into the liner here.
Well, Mr. Max is turning up the sizzle this summer with Platypalooza. From barbecue rib platters to coastal combos with lobster and prawns. It's big flavor all summer long. Plus, enter for your shot at sizzling summer prizes. Get into Mr. Mike's Platypalooza zone. Mr. Mike's, eat locally, enjoy casually.
Remember how sad we were when the other liner was ending for Mr. Mike's?
the
rustic onion soup.
You had like 5 characters.
Yeah,
you were
but this
cosplaying
is
in
so
that.
good. This is so good. I
No.
like this.
All summer.
All right, who's playing kind of easy trivia today? Trev, who do we got?
This is El Presidente.
El Presidente is going to play today. Looking at his hands on that gift certificate to Mr. Mike's. El Presidente, are you ready to go?
You betcha.
All right, Trev will start the ticker after I read the first question. Good luck. Here we go. Which team currently leads the Stanley Cup final?
Florida Panthers.
Which goalie took the loss for the Oilers on Saturday?
Calvin Pickard.
Which 2 teams are in the NBA final?
Oklahoma City Thunder and Pacers.
Which major event did JJ Spawn win yesterday?
U.S. Open.
What sport does George Russell compete in?
Pass. So I don't know.
You got it. You got it. That's okay. That's okay. 4 for 5.
That's real good.
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
That's a paddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Ooh, you better believe that's a paddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
That's a paddling.
The first year we took it to the limit.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
$8:14 on the Nielson Show as the AM Nasty rolls on. Thank you very much for being here today. Edmonton Oilers looking to find their game. Can they play their game when Florida is also trying to play their game? We'll get into that a little bit with Ryan Rashad.
The game within the game.
There's
That's
always
what
a
you're
game
saying.
within a game. You know why? It's a Stanley Cup final.
It's hard.
That's why. Keep those text messages flying in. Paris Schuler's inbox.
It's hard.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Oh, Adam in Quebec City. El Presidente. El Almost Perfecto.
But I like how all the 4
That's
ones he
good.
got right, he said them all like the Oklahoma City Thunder, Indiana, like he kind of said everything in its, Kelvin, not just Pickard or Picks, if you will, Kelvin Pickard. And then, didn't panic. He knew he had it. I'll pass.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
already done.
Rest my case.
Things are taken care of.
All business.
All right. 780-218-9999. We're going to get to some of your questions for 3 questions too many. We got some double E trivia here for a 4-pack of tickets to the Elks home opener, which will be going down on Thursday at home here against the Montreal Alouettes. H.E. Pennypacker, this was probably meant for 3 questions too many, but we've already answered this, so we don't need to go there. But who is the best TV dad of all time? We did a bracket for this a few years ago at the old place, and Uncle Phil ended up, which is kind of funny because his name is Uncle Phil, but he ended up winning the best TV dad of all time.
My brother on Instagram, we like to send each other funny videos at times. He sent me as one of those 90s TV hit hard different, and one of the clips was Uncle Phil when he's trying to get Will and Jazz out of jail.
Yes,
where he's in that thing, and he comes, and the sheriff's like, "Who the hell do you think you are?" And he's like, and then Phil's partner comes in from the law firm.
Yes,
and then Phil's like, "I'm gonna wrap this place up in so much litigation, your grandkids will be paid for it."
Yeah,
and it was like, yeah.
Uncle Phil went to bat.
Oh, he hit hard.
Yeah, he was a great character.
Uncle
Great
Phil,
character.
yeah.
All
Which
right,
is funny because he's an uncle and he best dad,
but he's also a dad. Yeah. Sometimes dads are uncles and uncles are dads.
It's like the Reed Wilkins of that household. If you will. He could be your uncle.
All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today. Do you have a lighter for the segment?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where the motto at the dealership this morning is, "It's not over yet." Munenori Kawasaki. That's a clip we need.
I don't know if
we
I
can,
have that
I know,
one kicking around here. But yeah, that was...
it's not over yet.
Yeah, that guy was great. Do you have a Twitter account?
I do, and so does Edmonton Sports Talk. You can go on the x.com, Yeg Sports Talk. I'm queuing it up right now just to show how easy it is. Yeg Sports Talk in the search bar. Boom, it pops right up there. Murray McCord, if you missed it as well yesterday, the VIP Golf Show, that's up. Edmonton Sports Talk, YEG Sports Talk on X.
They're giving away great prizes on the VIP Golf Show, too. You got to start checking it out Sunday morning.
66 followers away from 6K. So there's a marker we can aim for.
We can get that. Hey, hop
easily
over there. Give us a follow over there. All right, send your questions 780-218-9999. We need one more question. I do want to get to this text though from Lacombe Drew. My son reported on Friday that he and his friends were all singing "He's a Turtle" at recess. A single tear of joy rolled down my cheek. I looked at my mug that said "World's Best Dad," and I thought to myself, "Self, you are a good dad. Yeah. Not as good as Dusty and Reed, but decent."
World's greatest dads. Yeah, that's a shirt you guys can wear around. You can read. I like how it's found its way though onto the playground. Like it's
good. I mean, it should be out there.
That's where all the lingo gets. The youth of today. And
yeah.
Jeffrey, breakout Lucille. Pat just texted in because, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Jason Leduc says, "I'm an uncle and a dad, a 2-sport athlete right here." Trev 15 says, "Guys, what's the date of the Nasty Bash? And do you have a date for the Esty Award yet? Oilers in 7. Nasty Bash. Has Maddie made this all?
Well, all the EST majors, we do have the golf tournament coming up.
Golf tournament is July 8th.
Yes.
I don't know if Nasty Bash date has been announced, but it'll be close to a month.
People have been talking. That. It's not official, but it's as close to official.
It's going to be August 8th, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, and then, of course, the Esties will be at some point in September. And it should be fun. Very much look forward to that. All right, question number 1. Trev, chime in on this one here. Which forward comes out for Kapanen, boys? Is it Arvidsson or is it Skinner?
13-5.
I look at you fully supporting. So Stetcher's out and that comes out.
Look.
Roll your big
me
5.
Out. It's not happening. I get it. But if Stetcher can't handle it, like Button said, and I'm not debating his assessment on that right now, and Klingberg, to a couple of people mentioning in the nasty chat, is maybe not either feeling it or is feeling something else. Like, so where do you go there, right? So, I mean, look, it's not going to happen. And I would think, too, with this forward group, it leads me to that point being, now you're just arranging deck chairs. Like, I don't know, like, Kapanen's coming back in. What I'm saying? Like, I don't know what he can do in terms of maybe matchups within the game.
Kapanen can come back in, but the other 11 guys all need to be way better too.
Sure, yeah. So you're not parachuting anybody in right now that wasn't in game 5. That's going to make you'd hope, but I just don't see it. So Sure, I've liked Kapanen's jam for the run. I mean, he at times we've seen him bring a spark, so maybe that is something that he could jumpstart there. But like Frederick's still been around, but hasn't really done Trent Frederick things that you would expect. And with Hyman's absence this series, we said, well, who's going to step up? And it might be by committee. Well, you'd be looking at guys like Frederick. You'd be looking at guys like Kane. You weren't in last week, but we came in the day after. Pod Colson had himself a game.
He had a nice game.
With just over 11 minutes of ice time.
Yeah.
So, I don't, to the question, I don't know who you're bringing into maybe Kapanen for,
I'm
whomever.
curious to see what Knobloch would do. It'll be Arvidsson or Skinner, be one of those. Trev, what would you do? What would you do? What do you think Knobloch does?
Kapanen's for sure in. I think when he's been out and has come in for that one game, his first game back is a lot more buzzing. He has more hustle and he's a little bit more grittier than I'd say Arvidsson. So I think, I don't know. I didn't see a heck of a whole lot from Arvidsson, nor did I from the whole freaking forward group. So you're probably taking out Victor Arvidsson, I'd say. I think Knobloch goes that route. And then as far as defense, I don't think it's fair to say that Troy Stetcher has been a liability every time he stepped on the ice. I wouldn't go as far as saying that as Button did there. Like, he's hurting the team and it's not fair to him. I think he was okay and I think he's done his role, but you talk about jumps, getting that extra push. I feel like John Klingberg is going to have a little bit extra motivation coming into the game. So and he's got a little bit more offensive touch. And good first passes, as we've touched on as well. So I think Klingberg and Kapanen are in. Stetcher, Arvidsson are probably out.
I would take Arvidsson out. I wonder if Knobloch, considering how often he scratched Skinner, and now you're sitting here in a do or die game for the Stanley Cup, I could see him taking Skinner out.
And it's funny, when Arvidsson was omitted first, we kind of were like, I don't know about that. You remember earlier on in the series because he had the goal.
He did
and
have
whatever,
the goal.
But
he was,
times have changed,
true.
but it's funny how in a quick, 13-5.
Question number 2. I'll be that guy. Who's the MOP frontrunner 2 weeks into the CFL season?
Who's the mop?
I mean, I look at it like this. Nathan Rourke leads the league in passing yards. He leads the league in passing touchdowns, and he's second in the league in rushing yards.
So that's outstanding. That's the mop debate to the MVP debate.
The question was MOP.
Yeah.
I mean, he's second in rushing yards, first in passing yards, first in passing touchdowns.
And I know you've covered an Alouettes team who have their studs on the defensive side of the ball, but as we've seen going back to last year, you got to be very, very outstanding to steal it away from an offensive player, right? So you look at the offense, probably Rourke. Record aside, I get it, but yeah.
How about Montreal right now? Their 2 running backs, Sean Thomas Erlington, is third in the league in rushing, and Travis Tice, their backup, is fourth in the league.
And
in
Walter
rushing.
Fletcher nowhere to be found yet, but
he hasn't popped up anywhere yet. There'll be some injuries.
I had to scrap heap Sean Thomas Erlington this week and didn't do much as what I was hoping, but 28 points allowed for Montreal through 2 games.
Server Brett has
67 scored.
It's in his phone. It's official. Dusty proclaims that if he dies, he wants Reed Wilkins to take over as his family's father and husband.
And Jason Milne to host the Lock Shop.
And Glue Guy takes over Lock Shop.
That is an
That's
amendment.
Oil Stream 2 guys, you figure it out. But those are 2 requests. All right, 780-218-9999. We'll get to more of your thoughts on what we do with the lineup. But let's get to one more question. And where was it? It was Big Uke, I think, texted in a little bit earlier on. Here it is. Guys, here's a question for 3 questions too many. Oh, nice question or picture of him with a 6 o'clocker lager can and a golf cart.
He had a good weekend.
It says, when you have a weekend-long golf stag in Canmore and you're still hungover on Monday, what's your cure? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, I had that disease last week following Monday's game at Boston Pizza Westgate, to be honest with you. I was not right for a lot of time.
You were in rough shape
and
there, buddy.
I did a lot of thinking. Like I did a lot of self-reflection. I think you can't be too hard on yourself either. You just have to kind of realize what you've gotten into and then wallow in there for a bit. Get some grease, you know, have a couple of bad meals. You're already off the rails.
That's the thing.
You might as well make it into a thing. And then you will get to a point where you sober up and you get sick of it, that you'll be like, I want to get back on track. Like
exactly.
You'll trick your body into thinking and mind into thinking I need to be better. So for right now, I would just say lean into it. Like, you know,
two things. First of all, I really only get hungover when I drink beer for some reason. I could drink as much spiced rum ever.
You're almost on the opposite end of most. Yeah.
I would get a greasy bag of McDonald's and I'd have a lay down shower. You just lay down in your shower for like 40 minutes. Just let that thing hit you while you're laying there. And you'll be as ripe as a daisy.
I love that you have lay down showers too.
Yeah, it's the best.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it's the best. Lay down showers are terrific.
They are amazing.
All right, let's give away these Elks tickets. Then we got Ryan Rashad coming up. Here's the trivia question.
I want you to really zing him here.
No, it's, well, you know, you have to probably be a hardcore to know off the top of your head, but it's definitely Googleable.
Okay.
Googleable.
Sure. You can ask
you can
Jeeves.
Search it.
Jeeves will
you can
know.
search it.
Yeah.
Jeeves isn't still a thing, is it?
I'm sure you could probably get that.
I feel like whoever
search
started
engine going.
Ask Jeeves really blew it along the way from a business perspective. Like, unless he sold Ask Jeeves to Google or something along the way and got a bunch of money. Did the guy who started Ask Jeeves end up with a bag? That's what I'm curious about right now.
Jeeves is living somewhere, he's living life on an island.
This guy's in an island somewhere for sure. Where'd you get all your money from? I'm the Ask Jeeves guy.
Probably oceanfront property somewhere in Arizona.
Was his name actually Jeeves? Is that where it came from? Do you think the guy who created it?
Or the guy that created had a butler named Jeeves.
Maybe.
And he named it after him.
Maybe. Jeeves probably hates Siri.
Oh, they do not get along.
All right, we've got a 4-pack of tickets to the Edmonton Elks home opener, part of our relationship with the Double E. Here's your trivia question. Who holds the Double E record for most converts in a game? See, you got nobody. I mean,
I'm going to ask.
There's
Jeeves.
probably 2 or 3 guesses that you have right off the top of your head, but most converts in a game.
Jeeves, by the way, is now ask.com. They've repurposed it. It's more of a minimalist.
So Jeeves got hosed here.
Yeah, now it's ask, whoever that is. Well, let's put him to the test. I'm going to do that right now.
Who has the most kicking the converts, single point. Who has the most converts in a game in Double E history? John says Ricky Ray. Of course, he wasn't a kicker.
Oh,
because we're saying most converts. Most converts in a game. Who holds that record? Text us 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. I do see a few correct answers in there. Eric will randomly draw one of you, and you will...
yeah, that's it.
You'll win the 4-pack of tickets.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the one guy that there's probably 2 guys you would think of.
Not Boris Beatty.
It's and not Dean Faithful.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's the guy you thought it probably was. We'll just say that. 780-218-9999. I actually saw him at Elks Fan Day, and he asked me to MC the alumni golf tournament again, which was a pretty good time. I actually golfed with him in the tournament last year.
You know, Sean White was part of this organization at one point, too.
He was.
I mean, there are some other...
He was, but it's not Sean White. Right, because it's Sean Fleming. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean would not be white.
Anyway,
text in the white Sean.
There you go. There.
The right Sean, not the white one.
There we go. Yeah. 780-218-9999. Text it in, and one of you are going to get hooked up with a 4-pack of tickets to go check out the home opener on Thursday against Montreal. Ryan Rashad from the Got Your Back podcast and a TSN. We're going to get his thoughts on what happened in Game 5. Is this team capable of having a lead after the first period? We will get into that, or at least be in an even level playing ground with the with the Florida Panthers right now. Shoggy's on the way. The wrap for William Huff still to come as well. Let's get to a sports update for a place where it is always game day. Every day is game day at Selly Sports Bar and Lounge.
European teams naming the first 6 players to preliminary rosters for the 2026 Winter Olympics. No surprise, Germany including Leon Draisaitl in their 6 as Draisaitl and the Oilers get set to stay alive tomorrow down in Sunrise, trailing the Panthers 3-2 in the Stanley Cup Final. Speaking of finals, Game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight from OKC. Thunder and Pacers tied at 2, tip-off 6:30. Over to baseball, where the Jays are back home to host the Diamondbacks to start a 3-game series tomorrow as they got swept over the weekend by the Phillies. Red Sox, meanwhile, major trade as they dealt Rafael Devers to the Giants last night for a pair of pitchers and prospects. Riverhawks, they'll come home with a record of 7-5 following a 12-6 loss out in Kamloops last night. Hawks will host the Bellingham Bells to kick off a 6-game homestand tomorrow down at Remax. Energy City Cactus Rats, they fall to 5-9 on the season with an 8-3 loss to Okotoks. Cactus Rats are Saskatchewan bound. They'll play a pair of games against the Weyburn Beavers beginning tomorrow. JJ Spawn taking the U.S. Open. He'd finish a sloppy 1-under for a 2-stroke victory over Robert McIntyre. And CFL news and notes as we head into Week 3. The Bombers have released veteran receiver Reggie White Jr. this morning. The Elks will kick off Week 3 as their home opener goes Thursday against the 2-0 Montreal Alouettes. Sports Update is presented by Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. With wall-to-wall TVs, daily food and drink specials, it is the place to be for every Oilers game. Every day is game day at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge.
Timberlake rocks.
Is that a mandate of yours?
God, what are we talking about here? Good question. Can some of it be about sports? Yeah. All he needs to do is just get in front of people and state his case. If they had the mandate from the people, blah, 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 I don't know where that information came from, but I would question it.
Time for the Morning Mandate with Ryan Rashad.
This is what sports broadcasting is all about.
You know what? That may be a good point, Ryan. You broke the story, Ryan.
Rishaug is one giant 6'2" pile of Charmin.
8:33 on a Monday here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Edmonton Sports Talk, of course, presented by Play Alberta. We're going to get to Ryan Rishaug here in just a second. Interesting developments here because Glue Guy's usually in on Friday on the Hangout. Awanek hasn't allowed him to be in on Fridays lately.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in on Monday. I thought it was Glue Guy that texted us and said, who wants a coffee or something, but it was actually Awanek.
Wally pipped.
So Awanek is Wally pipping Glue Guy in the Glue Guy role of bringing in coffees when he's in on the Hangout.
And I was so mesmerized by Jason's, generosity that I said, no thanks, Jason, I'm good.
Yeah, I saw this. It was just... It kind of blew my mind. I saw Glue Guy reply and say, medium regular, please, and thank you. He's ordering to himself? What is this? Anyway, so a huge shout out to Matty Awanek for, and congratulations to everybody who got Sean with 9 converts in one game.
Well, and credit to Vaughn for the Hank Alisic text, which, I mean, that's a hell of a guess.
Well done,
sir. Give him the tickets for that.
Well done. We got the wrap for William Huff still to come. Look at this well-dressed man. Ryan Rashad from TSN. Of course, the Got Your Back podcast. Got Your Back available over on YouTube and all podcasting platforms as well. Shoggy, what's going on, buddy? How you doing down there?
Good. Yeah, just got to the Panthers practice facility. Actually, courtesy ace cameraman Dave Parker, we have a professionally lit podcast hit. So you can see there's our setup for TSN.
Oh, look at that.
And then Parker set the light up for us so
Where
that
is
for
that
your guys'
man?
show.
Hey.
I don't know. He's over being nice to somebody somewhere, probably.
He always is. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. So anyways, that's why the lighting is
that handsome, eh?
I know, and not talkative when you sit next to him on the plane. He thinks everybody wants to get into a 4-hour discussion
is he a big
on every single
talker
flight.
on the flight? Is that a thing?
Weird hair. I've been in proximity to him on the plane, and he definitely is known to strike up conversations.
I don't talk to anybody on the plane, like, ever. As soon as you take off, my headphones go in. I'm like, I'll see you in 3 hours.
But you had a good plane
yesterday.
ride.
It was like, yesterday it was a 3-hour, 47-minute flight back from Toronto. And I had a pilot on each side of me. I felt really safe, Shoggy, because if a pilot got sick, one of these pilots would go up and save the day. But I didn't talk to either.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the other thing that would be nice about that too is if anything was weird or there was an unusual turbulence or anything at all was sort of sketchy or whatever, you could just be like, "Hey, is this normal?" Yeah. And then he'd be like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Okay, good."
All right, Shoggy, let's go to Game 5. It's not like they were outshot 45-15 and got absolutely steamrolled, but where was the Oilers we were expecting in Game 5? You're coming home, a chance to go up 3-2, and I thought they had some chances in the first period, and then I don't know, man. Where was this? I don't want to say back against the wall because technically it wasn't, but where was the sense of urgency as that game played out?
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I agree. I mean, we talked about it afterwards. It just felt like, how do you come out in a game like that and look like you're not on your toes and look like you're slow? And I mean, I think the Florida Panthers just have a lot to do with that. I think last year in the series, we saw the same thing. There was a lot of games where it was just like, man, they just don't seem to have it, do they? Well, the Panthers are really good. It's a really good team defensively. I mean, that Forsling is unreal. Seth Jones is playing great hockey this year. Aaron Ekblad 2.0 is like playing unreal hockey right now as well, right? So they've got a lot of guys that make life difficult for the Oilers, top end guys. And it's kind of dried up through the middle of the lineup and the bottom part of the lineup in terms of the regular contributions that they were getting earlier in the playoffs. So yeah, man, it was for the Oilers. That'll be a disappointing effort. That'll be a disappointing start. They never really found it much through the game. And crazy to think you can come back into your own barn that's just on fire. I mean, Oiler fan is doing everything, in their power. That building was electric. And for the Oilers to be flat, in some ways, I think it's them kind of, they tend to watch the moment happen a little bit instead of going out and grabbing it by the throat. And I think they definitely were doing that a little bit the other night. They just kind of watching it happen instead of just making sure. And the physicalities come out of their game too, right? The first couple of games of the series, like they were dictating and physical and, and I'm not saying they need to be running the Panthers out of the building, but they certainly have stopped doing that.
Well, how much of that do you think is the followed from that crazy third period where you're like, you're trying to hit everything? Like, they haven't been as physical since then. And I don't know if I don't want to say they got it all out of their system because you need it. But is that not kind of the turning point from a physicality in this one where it's almost like they decided, we can't get involved in that, and then dialed it back to a point where it's been detrimental to them recently?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's the third period so much that has to do with that as it is, it was 3 games in a row, games 2, 3, and 4, where the Oilers came out and took stupid penalties early in games, high sticking penalties, just dumb stuff. Evander Kane was part of a lot of that. And so I think when the narrative becomes you cannot take bad penalties, I think there's just a hesitation. There's a hesitation to go and air it out. I think there's a hesitation because I know for a fact, game in, game out, the players have been a little bit uncertain of what the standard is going to be because the way the game is finishing, second, third period, overtime, is a way different standard than the way it's starting. So I think you've had a group that's tentative to take penalties, tentative to take take that physical part and get after it right away for fear of taking penalties. And like Evander Kane, I mean, like that guy needs to play on the edge and needs to play physical and needs to check into this series in a meaningful way. But he's just killed himself here. The first part of these last three games before, like previous 2, 3, and 4, early penalties that just, how do you go out there and be aggressive and play hard and be menacing when they're just looking at you like, hey, take another one, Evander, nice work. Like you kill your ability to go out there and be a force because you don't want to hurt your team again and again.
Ryan, I just want to echo Dusty's words to start the segment, and everyone in the nasty chat, you are looking absolutely mint. It's a great look, business, relaxed, no tie, but it looks great. Yeah. I wanted to get your thoughts.
It's an off-day fit, right? That's what they say. It's not a game day fit. It's an off-day fit.
You're down there.
It is an off-day fit. Yeah, for sure.
Look fantastic.
And I've got a casual dark pant with a brown dress shoe as well. Just to complete
Are you wearing
a
flip-flop as well, like kind of down on the feet? You're not in dress shoes or anything, are you?
Florida.
No, I don't do that.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I stay more traditional than that. There's Dave Parker there.
Oh, handsome man.
He's back now doing work. Yeah.
But
Dusty
Ryan,
says, leave people alone on the plane. Don't be so chatty. It's annoying. That's what Dusty says.
are we, Ryan, though, seeing
Everybody you sit next to, you annoy on the plane. Sorry, go ahead, guys.
No, the depth in the series. People online have been saying, draft the best forwards from the combined group and all that stuff. Is this just the depth and the cream rising to the top here that the Panthers have, that the Oilers don't? And I will lead into, where do you think Knobloch goes in terms of, for lack of a better term, rearranging the deck chairs when it comes to the forward group heading into game 6?
I think we will see, like my gut is he goes back to Klingberg and he normalizes the D pairings a little bit, Ekholm, Bouchard. I think we'll probably see that go back. I think up front, Kapanen probably comes back in. I don't know if it'll be for Skinner or Arvidsson. I think you see that happen. I'm not sure what he's going to do with his top line. That's kind of what we're here. We're hearing it might be optional this morning, so I don't know that we'll see a full set of lines. But what does he do with his top two lines? I think at this point, you probably need to let Evander Kane out of the doghouse and let him loose on one of those top lines. So I think they should do that. This Connor Brown on the top line thing, it's just not working for me anyway. I don't think he's been able to meaningfully move the needle in this series yet. So I think they definitely need to shake things up a little bit in their top 6.
If Kapanen gets back in, who do you think comes out? Is it Arvidsson or Skinner?
Yeah, I'm just sort of thinking about that. I know they like Arvidsson's energy. I know they like Arvidsson's, plays maybe a little bit more speed and aggression to at least get to pucks and, sticks on pucks and that kind of thing. I don't think Skinner's hurt them. I don't think Skinner's been a problem.
He hasn't hurt them.
And Skinner was part of a third line that, 2 games ago, I thought they were pretty good on that line. So, and Skinner is also that sort of one-shot scorer. You could argue, though, guys, that the Oilers have 2 guys who could potentially be top 6 players in the bottom 6 of their lineup. And so is it time to just say Jeff Skinner, Evander Kane, go and throw them in the top 6 and see if you can't get something going with guys that are supposed to be able to score goals. Lean into your guys a little bit here.
Yeah.
I know they haven't trusted him a lot during the year, but defensively Skinner's been fine to my eye. Do you just say, go do what you're supposed to do? I don't know, but that's an option.
We had Craig Button on earlier in the program, Ryan, and he went with an answer. And I don't know if there's necessarily a wrong answer in this, as long as you show your work and explain yourself. But who do you think Knobloch goes to in net, Skinner or Pickard? Button went with Pickard on the belief that, he started him last game. It wasn't necessarily his fault, and you don't want to be going back and forth too much. So that was his kind of thought process. But where do you see this coming out? Where are your thoughts, and where do you think Knobloch's will be?
Well, Stuart Skinner has played 4 games in his career where the Stanley Cup is in the building and the other team has a chance to win it. 3 of those, his team did not have a chance to win it. He's 3-1 in this situation and has lots of experience. Oh, and he's won a game here in Florida in that circumstance as well. So had the situation been Skinner lost his net because he was terrible in that game, I think maybe it's a little bit different. That wasn't the case. Skinner was good in the first period of that game. The Oilers, that was a momentum pull. They needed to change something. Stuart Skinner was, now could he have made another save? For sure he could have. You could say the exact same thing about Calvin Pickard last game. So if you're potentially going down, you go down with your starting netminder in there, a guy that's been in this situation, won this very game before. He's won this game. And so to me, it's an obvious one. I think it'll be Stuart Skinner.
I agree with you. I think it's pretty obvious as well. When's your next episode drop, Shaggy? When you guys rolling back tomorrow night after the game, I'm assuming? Or are you doing anything tonight?
Yeah. No, we're actually going to drop one tonight. Okay. So we'll have sort of a preview pod coming up a little bit later on. And if people missed our last one, by the way, Chris Pronger, we got Pronger on. Did you guys hear this? So Jason Strudwick was told, he was asked to come and spend some time in the autograph line before last game. And they told him, you're replacing somebody. And he was like, who? And they're like, Chris Pronger. So Strats had to replace Chris Pronger in an autograph line. And then Ice District actually tweeted out, just a heads up for fans, Chris Pronger won't be able to make it. Instead, we'll have alum Jason Strudwick. And the replies on that tweet are an all-timer. So Struds did that the other night. He talked about the beating he took. So I called Pronger and got him on the show, and we were giving it to Struddy pretty good. But anyways, it was a good show the other night, and then we'll go again 2 nights in a row, tonight, tomorrow night.
Excellent, buddy. Okay, have fun in practice today, and we'll catch up next week.
Yeah, keep an eye on my Twitter feed. I'm not sure if it'll be a full skate, but if it is, we'll get some lines and stuff out there.
Okay, sounds good, man. There we go. That's Ryan Rashad on the road with the team for TSN, and of course the Got Your Back podcast. Poor Struddy.
That's a tough tweet.
That's a tough one. I mean, I might as well. You might not tweet that one out and just go like, oh, hey, they probably could have got away with Struddy pretending to be Pronger,
and it'd be hilarious to have a bit of a laugh. And
it would have been pretty funny. That's too good. I just thought about this.
Hanging him out to dry.
This time next week, we could be having a Stanley Cup championship show.
Sure.
Right? If they win the cup on Friday night, our Monday show will be a Stanley Cup championship show. Trev, where do you come out on that feeling? Right? I know you're down the dumps. I know they ruined the best weekend of your life. You were there, you're at the game, but next Monday we could be doing Stanley Cup championship show.
Yeah, I'm praying for it. That's all I've ever wanted. Oh my gosh, what would it be like that Friday night if the Oilers? Oh, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but that's it, man. That's just one. That's all I've wanted in my entire lifetime. Heard so many stories from my grandpa, my dad, and my friends, and all the nasties living in Edmonton. What it was like. I just want one, man. I just want to experience the Stanley Cup championship.
Is it so much to ask?
Once. Yeah, is it so much to ask for? After what you pulled and on Saturday?
Do you know that we spent $6,000 to be in that bloody game?
Damn it!
And this is how you play.
But would have been 8 if it wasn't for fans first.
Yep.
That's
shout
true.
out there.
Yeah, that's right. Saved
tax.
Saved $1,400.
They lose
local state tax.
They lose Saturday to win it at home on Friday. I think it would be worth it.
Oh man, eh?
But if they ever bring it to Game 7 and they lose, then it's definitely not worth it.
Friday
even
night,
more mad.
A Friday night Game 7 in this city would be bloody insane. I can't imagine what. I won't be checking out any of the partying, but I can't imagine what that would be like.
No, I will be having the time of my life.
Riders Argos at 5:30 as well.
Varela, yeah, and so I'm supposed to fly to Vancouver on Friday afternoon for the Lions Bombers rematch.
Which is Saturday.
On Saturday. But I told Marshall if it does go 7 games, I won't be flying.
Driving back.
I'm going to just pay for a ticket out of my own pocket. I got some Air Canada credit. I can't even remember where it's from.
Oh, the Nexus.
So I'll just
slap down the
book,
Nexus card.
Yeah, without even a boarding pass.
Yeah,
You have a boarding pass, sir? No, I only have a Nexus card. What do you want? I'm going to be on a flight to Vancouver this morning. So there's no way I can't be there to watch a Game 7 with him. So stay home, watch the game, then fly to Vancouver first thing Saturday morning and call the football game. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I got to get the job done in Game 6. It won't be easy because Florida's amazing. Like Florida's a very, very good hockey team. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. This Mark guy is really doing a number over in the nasty chat today.
Yeah, but I mean, I said, people, do you want him? They said, no, he's a little entertaining.
He hasn't said anything degrading to anybody, I don't think.
He's trolling, and that's what you do on the internet. That's
good text messages rolling in here.
Tommy usually does the timing.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
I get to this text from Rob from the Grove. It's kind of a funny one. People standing in line for a Chris Pronger autograph, and Jason Strudwick shows up.
Who the hell are you all of a sudden?
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. The rap for William Huff still to come, and then it'll be Glue Guy, it'll be Awanik, and it'll be Gazzola on the hangout today. So make sure you turn on autoplay over on YouTube. That'll take you right on over to the boys, and they'll keep the fun going. That'll lead into Lock Shop. Huss and I have a ton that we'll be diving into CFL Week 2. We will be diving into
a U.S. Open recap.
U.S. Open recap with JJ responding. And a bunch of other things on the Lock Shop today. Oil Stream from 12 until 1. EST Afternoons with Hernan and Gager. It's a tremendous show if you haven't checked it out yet. From 1 to 3 on TuneIn and iHeart at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and then from 3 to 6 as well. D-Rock says, Mark, smash the thumbs up at least. Yeah, Mark, you got to give us the thumbs up, Mark.
Yeah. Some people are saying it's the most action Mark has had in his entire life.
Ooh, poor Mark. Catching strays.
Back over the net. I mean, that's how it goes. I love it. It's a nasty chat. Eh?
All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, get it done at William Huff, where former employee Matthew Peterson had his first rushing touchdown in the Canadian Football League for the Blue Bombers. And what a touchdown it was. You see that cut he had? Boom, gone. You see me? Now you don't.
If and when you are on a Bomber call again, and he's, I mean, you got to work the huff drop into it.
Yeah, he's huffing and a puffing to the end zone. Done.
If Bruce Almighty.
If he, I don't know.
It's a little bit of a longer play.
I don't know if that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one works. All right. What did we learn on the show today, boys? What did we learn?
Well, look, a lot of players have been named this morning, and not when we're talking about Oilers forward lineup and deep air. The Olympics, the Olympiad, the 2026 Winter Olympics from Milan. The European team's getting their first 6 out. Zemgus Girgensons features for Latvia.
Girgensons. Zemus.
And of course, Leon Draisaitl for the Germans.
Trev, what did you learn on the show today, buddy?
I learned you'd be okay with Reed Wilkins stepping in.
Ah, yeah. As a husband and a father for my kids, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. And
that's a big one.
If you left also, Jay would be the host of the Lock Shop.
But Reed
gave it to him.
Reed, even prior to your passing. I mean, now would be a good.
Well, you
get him in there.
I was saying, if my kids are like, Daddy, can we play board games? And I'm like busy or want to have a nap. But you know who loves board games? Daddy Reed.
Yeah.
And then Reed plays board games with them and stuff. That's not bad.
Gets right in there.
Here's what I learned today. I learned that Auburn is in Alabama. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, you were kind of skating around that. I was like, I didn't want to say anything.
I'll admit it. When it was brought up, I was like, wait a second, Auburn is in Alabama?
But to your credit, and the texter, who's a Chris from Alabama, or what was his name?
Yeah, I think Chris in Alabama.
The eastern part near Georgia, so they don't really consider Auburn the
Yeah, I didn't necessarily know. Like, it's not that I just didn't know where it was.
Yeah, it's like the Flames of when you look at the province here.
Yeah.
Oilers fans have the tradition, the winning, all that.
I did not know that Auburn was in Alabama. I wasn't as bad. Like, I didn't think Auburn was its own state. I'm not an idiot.
No.
I didn't know that Auburn was in Alabama.
Well, and they had that right, the Iron Bowl, to which one year Alabama fans poisoned that tree. Auburn has this tree. And so when they win, they throw toilet paper all over it. And a few Auburn fans poisoned it one year and it died.
How do you poison a tree? What'd you poison it with?
They put a bunch of chemical down it.
What?
That's how. And they got charged. Like the whole. It was
for the Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl, baby.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's college football. It's
SEC, am I right?
It's SEC country.
That's the only thing I knew about the location of Auburn. It was somewhere southeast.
War Eagle. That's what they say. And
they were the War Eagle.
War Eagle.
And they had a huge return at some point in that game.
Yes, and Nick Marshall used to quarterback.
Nick Marshall was a quarterback for. That's right. Yeah,
he's also a Crip.
Yeah.
He's a game banger,
a tough
baby.
Dude, that guy.
Yeah.
He was. I remember one time I walked by Nick Marshall. We were leaving. I think it was in Winnipeg. Stutz and I are walking from it must have been after a Banjo Bowl.
Yeah.
We're walking out, and I saw Nick Marshall kind of standing up. Further up from where the buses were.
And your demeanor? Hello, Nick.
No, I was just like, he's an intimidating dude. So I just kind of Stutz and I just sort of walked by.
Well, he doesn't say, like, he celebrates like they don't say B because the Bloods. So if he's wishing somebody a birthday, it's like Happy
Earth Day? Like
Earth Day or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize he was that much into the life.
Well,
holy smokes. Huh. All right. Well, there you go. That's another thing I learned on the show today. Let's get to your sound of the day today. There we go. I mean, it's not over yet, right?
It's not over yet.
It's you got to have some. We played this after Game 3. What happened? Hey, do it again.
It's not over yet. Have faith, it's not over yet. Have faith, it feels more like hell than hockey heaven. But let's remember it's a best of 7. Nobody loses the cup in just 3 games. So let's pump the brakes on assigning blame. It's not over yet. Have faith, it's not over yet. Have faith. So turn that frown upside down. They need a split coming back to town. You aren't yet dead, being down 2-1. In the end, the fun has just begun. It's not over yet. Have faith, it's not over yet. Have faith, it's not over yet. Have faith, it's not over yet. Have faith. Not over yet.
All right, have faith. Have faith. Tomorrow morning, it'll be the morning of Game 6. We'll have a Tales of the North.
And as Rip City Step wants to.
Wig of Destiny.
Wheels pump-up speech prior to Game 6.
Not going to happen.
Okay.
Sean texted in. It's not going to be your text of the day. The reality is, as long as Bennett and Marchand are better than McDavid and Draisaitl, the Oilers won't win. If those two want it like they've been telling us they do over the past year, it's time to show it.
Yeah, but it's not just the two of them.
That's it. Well, the whole team needs to
they
get
want
going.
it,
but the Panthers might just be better. We'll have to see what they can bring to the table in Game 6. Let's get to your text of the day today for A&W. You asked, we listened. The new Masala Veggie Burger is here to stay, only at A&W. Available now for a limited time price for only $6. A crisp patty made with nanak paneer and a blend of real vegetables topped with spicy piri-piri sauce, layers of whole leaf lettuce, sliced tomato, red onion, all sandwiched between a freshly toasted seeded bun. A full flavor veggie burger that's here for good. I think it was for a limited time before, and it did so well. People wanted to stick around. Get your hands on it for a limited time price, $6 for the Masala Veggie Burger.
I did some digging on that nanak paneer. It's like a rich, creamy cheese.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting. Tina from A&W did say, do you want me to drop off a veggie burger for you? And I was like,
no, Fergie's got this.
Fergie will take care of it.
He'll bring him by no cheese.
No Nanook.
Not at all. Not on his burgers.
Yeah.
Dry as a bone.
It's not going to be, that's going to be a thing.
I know this won't win, but I don't know if you saw the text here from Rams fan.
I did not. If you want,
not
you can
for
share.
air, but
it's not for air. Okay, well, we'll get to it later. So it definitely would have won.
It would have won, but I mean,
if it's not for air. All right. Okay, so I had 3. What was the one that you really loved? You kept coming back.
Ryan from SK. It was the fans' first state
but he's
one.
from Saskatchewan. He's not even going to come pick up the gift certificate.
No, right, sometimes he's been out before. I was supposed to do a deal with him.
Oh, really?
But we didn't really meet up. But
can I go with the JJ Spawn?
It's your show.
I mean, well, no, it's our show.
No, but you know what
Trev
I mean.
didn't like that text actually. Yeah. I got to go with that one. Let's horse eyes. You're gonna win. You're gonna win text of the day here.
Yeah, horse eyes, like the animal eyes.
Yeah.
Some people are confused when you say that handle.
Looks like this time JJ was able to respond. Come on, that's just good stuff.
Great moment. His kids were there. Father's Day, like it was just.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. So that's kind of a funny one. All right, that is your text of the day. What are we watching tonight, boys? Well, NBA final?
Yeah, NBA final. Jays have an off day. Riverhawks are back home tomorrow. Cactus Rats in action tomorrow as well. They're on the road. So not much else going on besides the NBA finals tonight that kind of dominates your viewing. Unless there should be something else, hey? Probably.
I've been watching a lot of things lately. I told you I watched
Man on Fire.
I watched The Hurt Locker for the first time ever on the plane yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I like Jeremy Renner. I didn't even know Anthony Mackie was in it. I actually know why I clicked on it because Guy Pearce was in it. Spoiler alert. He dies in the first scene.
Have either of you boys watched Mobland yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I've heard it's good.
Everybody's saying Mobland, so maybe.
I'm rewatching Lost while I work. It's my background show right now.
Yeah, that kind of went nowhere, right?
Yeah, still don't understand it. But what else? I watched Tires. I've watched Stick.
My lumbar.
Stick is good with Owen Wilson. And then what's the other one I watched? Oh, I crushed The Studio with Seth Rogen. All 10 episodes. I watched way more when I'm flying around and around the hotel. Like I'm actually catching up on TV right now, which is kind of fun. All right, that's going to do it for the show today. We got the hangout coming up. Tommy, Glue Guy, Maddie, all locked and loaded. Tomorrow we'll be setting up Game 6. The only way we know how, man. We're going to have some fun. We're going to set this game up for you. We will have Darren Dreger. We'll have Joaquin Gage.
Atif.
But it's going to be a great show. I'll be back to Lock Shop at 11 with Huss for YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric. I'm Dustin Nielsen. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell your friends about EST. I'll talk to you at 11. Take it easy.